What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Footy with an Edge. Shylin, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm late. I'm late by 2 minutes. You know what it is? I use my Bluetooth headset with my phone and my PC, and it's always connected to the wrong device. Just my luck. How's everyone doing, man? See, Shylin is here. We still need some people rolling in. Um, hey, Imran, how you doing? Looks like Cunha is out, guys. No Mateus Cunha against Crystal Palace. How are we feeling about that? Hi, Rishi. Hi, Shiva Mahuja. Shalin's good. Tawandani Irenda. Hi. How you doing, man? Hopefully I said your name right. How is everyone doing today? I mean, for me, same here, man. I have a bad feeling because we don't have any confidence in the players that are gonna start. And that's the problem. I have a sneaky feeling maybe he starts with Mainu. But if we play Ahmad in the 10 again, I'm gonna break something. I don't want to see Ahmad in the 10 again, guys. I don't know about you guys. So is it Tawandani or is it where are you from? Which country? Shivama who just says scared about Palace. Steve says good evening, Andy and guys. Good evening, guys. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you're calling from. Zimbabwe. Is it Harare? Where are you from in Zimbabwe? I know a few places in Zimbabwe only because I'm a cricket fan, and Zimbabwe used to play a lot of cricket against India back in the day. Ahmad has to be wingback, no other attacking wingback for us. No, absolutely, I agree. If Ahmad plays in the 10, we're gonna lose this game again. Yeah, Harare, nice, awesome. That's I hope the players surprise us. Juana says hi, guys. Hi, how you doing? Rishikesh, yeah, Bulawayo. Yeah, there's a lot of Indian fans here as well, so I'm sure I'm not the only guy that follows cricket. Although the Indian cricket team isn't doing too well right now. More interesting to talk about the Indian cricket team than United right now, man. Because seriously, we just should have won that game against Everton. Like that's just ruined it for so many. So many of us United fans losing that Everton game was just a horrible experience. And even online, nobody wants to watch any videos. We created the Stat Patters podcast. I know some of you guys that are here watched it for sure. But most of the other folks that usually watch it didn't watch it because we need some positivity, right? There's too much negativity about this this club, this manager, and that's the problem. But we still have some people rolling in here. Joao Tavares says, "Hello, guys. Where are you guys calling from?" And everyone type the cities that you're calling from, because I'd love to see where you guys are. I already know. I already know Tawandani is from Harare, Zimbabwe. I think Rishikesh is from India, but I forget which city. Yeah, no, absolutely. Shylin, where are you calling from, man? Joao Tavares calling from Lisbon, Portugal. Only Dog from Nairobi, Kenya. Urmi from Riverside, California. Rishikesh is in Bangalore. My man's doing the IT jobs. I love it. Mozambique in Africa. Nice. Manchester near Old Trafford. We got some top Reds here, guys. Give it up for Steve. I'm just kidding, obviously. New Jersey. How do people watch cricket? I've generally tried to watch it, but my head was about to explode. Too much was going on at the same time. Honestly, it's a little bit like football, right? Because a lot of the Americans, they say they find soccer really boring. So the entire time I've been in Canada, like I don't have any friends that follow football, guys. Zero people, like zero of my friends actually care about what I do right here. You guys are all tuning in, but nobody cares. Nobody else cares. Shiva Mahuja says he's calling from New York. Big up if Eminem is still picking the same lineup. I'm going to be losing faith in him. Southern California. Kiambu, where's you're also Kenyan. Yeah, that's Robert right there. Nice. Trinidad. Nice, man. We got some diversity here. I love it. I love it. So how are you guys feeling about this game? Because I feel like without Cunha, I'm worried about this game. Like this is a very mid block heavy team in Crystal Palace that likes to kind of sit deep and not sit deep, sorry, sit in the middle of the park and press the ball side, right? And look for mistakes. I've seen them do this against Crystal Palace. Sorry, against Liverpool, and Liverpool really struggled. Liverpool should have been like 4-0 down in the first half, right? So the problem is, yeah, no Cunha is a disaster. Absolutely. I agree with that. We got Sean calling from Dublin. Love that. Rishi from Mumbai, of course. Who should he play? I genuinely want to know. Right. So, in my opinion, the lineup, I think Xerxes has to start. We don't have any other option for someone that can hold the ball up. Perhaps he could try Mbumo at striker and Xerxes at 10, but I also don't want to take Mbumo out of his best position. In my opinion, Mbumo is like, if Mbumo is man of the match, we win the game comfortably, right? Let's put it that way. Bruno needs to have a good game and Mbumo needs to have a good game. I don't want to see Mazraoui in the team. If Mazraoui starts, we're in big trouble. Mazraoui could start at right center back, but I don't want him starting at right wing back. If Ahmad starts at left 10, we're in big trouble. I want to see Ahmad starting at right wing back. Dorgu is okay. I think Dorgu or Dallo. I don't think it makes much of a difference. I know people are really on the Dorgu wave in terms of not liking what he's providing, but I think Dorgu or Dallo doesn't make a big difference. Luke Shaw, Delict, and Euro / Mazraoui in the back is okay. In the left 10, I think it has to be Mount. Now, if you want to start Mount at striker, Xerxes at left 10, I think that doesn't make that big a difference. So I could see either one of those. We could have been in 14 places if we lost on Sunday. Do you mean we could be this Sunday? Chris Hilton's calling from Lagos, Portugal. Nice to see you, man. There's a there's a Lagos in Portugal. Oh, nice. I thought that was Nigeria, but nice. You learn something every day. I didn't know. Yeah, Rishi says that too. Look at that, great minds. You can see both Rishi and I went, got similar education up to a certain point. We went to different schools after that. Bletchley Park Enigma. Where's who's from Bletchley Park? Who's from Bletchley Park? Joao Pino, where are you from, man? We heard from Chris, but where are you from? Portuguese merchants in the 15th century. Where wait. Oh, Ayush is from Bletchley. Okay, got it. Let me see where that is. Bletchley Park. Milton Keynes. Nice. That's awesome. All right, we got some diversity, man. I love it. And people are also rolling in. Looks like it usually takes 5 to 10 minutes to warm up a bit. But yeah, guys, no Mateus Cunha for this game. That is a big concern for me. But I also think it's time for some of these guys to step up, right? So in terms of the lineup, here, let me just why don't I just set this up for you guys? Let's see. Boom. Okay. So what I want to see, obviously, no Sesko. Let's change that to Xerxes. Let me get the team up in front of me. Sorry. Man United. Let's go here. Okay. So 11, Xerxes, no Cunha. We want to play Mount there, right? What is Mount's shirt number? Let's go Man United, Everton. 7. Mount is 7. Right. I knew that. Mbumo 19. Ahmad on the right. These guys here. Let's put Shaw there. Dorgu here. And that should more or less be our team. I'm just gonna get Dorgu up on the screen as well. 13 Dorgu. And let's just fix that color. And who else? Oh yeah, Mazraoui. Raoui. Okay, so those are really our options, right? We either go with Mazraoui / Yoro or we go with Dorgu / Dallo. But the rest of the team, that's what I want to see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, guys, don't forget to like the stream. We got 40 people live. Come on, let's get 40 likes on the stream. But yeah, sorry, I had to check what what shirt Mount was because let's not talk about that. Number 7 needs to be properly respected. That's the curse our team is suffering from, I think. Dude, at this point, I think it's gone the other way, which is if you give somebody the number 7 shirt, you're guaranteeing that they're gonna fail. I think we've had the curse long enough that now it's just true. I've played many times in Legos Portugal handball. I missed if Joao said where he's from. Oh, okay. He's from Portugal, living in Diamantino, Brazil. Damn, I need to look up where that is. Diamantino, Brazil. Mato Grosso in Brazil has a population. The city has a population of 22,000. Damn, this is a relatively small place. It's right in the middle of Brazil. Wow, man. Or actually more to the western border. Super cool, dude. I don't think I've ever heard of that place before. How do you like living there, dude? It's like I live in Toronto, so I live in like a fairly big city, and I'm sure in Portugal you lived in a bigger city than that. So that's pretty cool. Can I stop pretending to like Joao Gomez now? Why is that? Wait, why were you pretending and why do you have to stop now? Diamonds Land. Okay. Middle of nowhere, he says. Norway represent. Where are you from in Norway, man? Dude, I'm learning so much about cities today. It's crazy. Yeah, Sean, what's wrong with never did just seem like a desperate call for a midfielder? Yeah, but like why did you say now as if some news dropped or something? Oh, okay. Okay. Ornstein says United were never interested. David Ornstein. What's his name? Shit. I'm like, my memory's gone today, guys. No truth in reports they're pursuing Joao Gomez. Yeah, I had a hunch that he was not good enough on the ball, and that's probably the reason why they didn't want to go for him. But here's the story in case you guys are interested. See. Subject of contrasting reports. Dismisses Joao Gomez to Man United links. Reduced price in the summer. Okay. I mean, that's it then. Did Romano said something too? Ornstein shot down all the rumors. Our first Norwegian resident, I think. I agree. Lukewarm take. Joao Gomez is not better than Ugarte. I mean, I've heard other people say this as well, right? And I can't disagree with you too much because his numbers don't look great. Plus his defensive stuff that does look good, it's for a struggling Wolves side. So I think I think Shant is right about that. That it was more just desperation that we needed a midfielder. I am so much with you, Joao Gomez. Yep. Looks like all the haters are not coming out. I'm just kidding, of course. Romano said it too. Okay. Thank God. Shant, I better see you today backing 12 points. Nelson's coming in with the heat. Nelson, bro, you're lucky nobody watches the nobody watches the channel from your work. Sean speaks sense. Still am dude LMAO. Let's see. Rishi, you're the GOAT. I've typed it like 5 times on stream. Hey, where's the love for good old Andy, man? All this love Rishi's getting because of stat patters. Show me some love. It could be Ederson. Yes. Yeah, Urmi. Okay, I was gonna say Urmi on Discord mentioned that Ederson's better. Urmi was mentioning that he has some Brazilian friends and they don't like Joao Gomez. They prefer Ederson. But I heard something about Ederson not being loved by what's it called? Amorim, but I don't know how true that is. We could be 90th minute down 3-0 and I'll remind everyone of Leon. Nice. They're asking why Rishi's asking why he's the GOAT. Shout out from Pretoria, South Africa. There we go, man. Tabi, I appreciate you, bro. Let's just talk about cricket for a second because Tabi mentioned it, and I know enough of you know about the sport, even if you hate it. South Africa just went to India and beat India in a 2-match test series, and I for one, disappointed to see that, but I also love the game of cricket, so I love to see that South Africa are finally back to the top in terms of actually winning things because they just won the World Test Championship last year. And yeah, and it was like the first big major trophy that they won in a long time. And now looks like they're killing it, man. And even their who's the captain, Temba Bavuma, very, very short player, and we Indians know about short players because Sachin Tendulkar, obviously. But yeah, shout out to you, Tabi. Honestly, South Africa playing some great stuff. Ayush, all the Indian watchers are just dropping off now. All the Indian viewers. I never watched a cricket game. No, I get it, dude. I get it. It's kind of a slower game. And I grew up with it because I grew up in India, so you can't like go anywhere without you know not watching cricket. Sean's just a hater today, man. He's like, I don't want Joao Gomez. I don't want Baleba. Matter of fact, Anderson and Morton can stay in their corner. GG is pulling slot out there for Team India. Yeah, absolutely. Baleba's recent form is concerning. Would rather not get a player who's that mentally fragile. Andy, you guys can go cry together with the English basketballers. There, we got some more cricket fans, man. Honestly, I think with the Indian team, it's the coach has got to go. Cricket will be loved by baseball lovers, I think. That's what Ayush says. Longer he plays like this, the bigger the risk. Just not a fan of that. Okay, so people want to talk about Ederson. We can talk about Ederson. Let's go talk about Ederson. Because this is also topical. Let's see. Ederson. Not this guy, this guy. There we go. All right, 26 years old, 6'1", 192 pounds. So, big boy. He's looks like he's strong. Let's look at this season in this area and let's look at last season in this area. All right. So he's a volume passer, good progressive passer. Likes to get on the end of some passes as well, so makes forward runs. Okay in terms of tackles. But where did Atalanta finish last year, guys? I'm curious about that. Let me look at his last year's stats since it's a full season. Okay, this looks a little better. We got some goals in there. Decent shot creating actions for a midfielder. Volume passer again. Progressive passer again. Good in the air. Middling defensive numbers. Let's see. Let me passing distance looks good. Progressive passing looks good. Okay. I mean, the consistency is pretty good, especially in terms of the medium and long passing. I like that. Progressive passes, crosses into the penalty area. How many crosses does he have? Okay, not that much. Okay, he's good at switching the ball. This is important for an Amorim team. Shot creating numbers pretty decent. Defensively is the only question mark. So what are we saying? Is this like a box to box player? I don't know too much about Ederson. I don't want to just lie. India has more South African cricket fans than South Africa itself. Yeah, that's I don't know if that's true. Tabi, tell us if that's true. I know there's also a lot of Indians in South Africa, so that's interesting. And speaking of South Africa, we have Donovan who's joined the studio to talk to us. So I'll bring him in a second. Toronto is a nice town. Visited many times. I get fans checking out that Everton game was a big step back. Yeah, absolutely. We wanted Ederson, but Atlanta may rinse us just like they did with Ahmad and Hoyland. Guys, guess who? Guess who is the director of football or director of the academy or whatever the hell at Atlanta? It's freaking John Murtaugh, guys. What do you think he's going to do? I mean, maybe if he's still an idiot, we can rinse him and get him for 20 million or something, right? But who knows? Seriously. Can we see the heat map for him? Yeah, sure. Let me see. Ederson, Atalanta, heat map. It should be here. Oh, there we go. That's the heat map for this season. If that's what you're interested in. Oops, that doesn't work. There's the heat map, guys. Looks like he's doing more work on the right-hand side, a bit more, but box to box mostly. You doing a call in, Andy? Yeah, I am. Shailin, I'll bring you in a second. We have Siddhant becoming a new member. Welcome to the members club. Rishi says Pillsbury Doughboy. That's referring to John Murtaugh. Hello, Andy. How are we feeling knowing that Cunha ain't going to be there? I mean, Cunha, I did look at last season. You mean last season's heat map? Yeah, it's a bit more everywhere. But it's a similar heat map, I'd say. It's just that we saw this season's numbers and it's fewer games. So maybe he's rotating where he's playing, right? Yeah. Do you think Orozco can break through next season? Too early. Delicious delight. Too early, in my opinion. How's Kamara doing from Monaco? He's doing well, dude. I would love to get Kamara. I think he's a great defensive player, and I'd love to have him here. Shailin says, welcome, Siddhant. Yes, welcome indeed. Did you see that City might push for Anderson? Even if we don't get him, I don't think he'll make or break next season. Sherpa, I'm sorry. I'm going to bring Shailin in since he's a first-time caller, and then I'll bring you in right after. Appreciate you. Shailin, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I am well, thanks. Where are you calling? You said New Jersey, right?
Yeah, Jersey. That's right. Like Jersey's like it's an interesting place. I say it's like the armpit of America, but it's grown fondly as I've lived here recently.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Whenever I think of Jersey, because I've flown in there a few times to Newark.
Yeah.
And then also last time, what's the airport in Queens? LaGuardia.
Yeah.
Right. And right outside LaGuardia, there's like a huge Indian, Pakistani, like South Asian, diaspora, right? And people like to hate on it, man. I loved it. It reminded me of Mumbai, like literally, like how the streets are. There's like uncles out there trying to usher you into like the shops and all that. It was hilarious. It was more Mumbai than Mumbai. It's like Mumbai from the '90s is what it felt like. And Jersey too. Like I when I went there, dude, I'm telling you, you guys have it so nice because of Patel brothers and all that. It's amazing. But where are you from originally?
So I was like you, was born in India, but I used to live in Toronto actually, and then
oh, nice.
Here.
Which part?
Yeah, I moved to Philly first, and then
Which part in where in Toronto?
North York.
Oh, dude, that's where I'm in York right now, not in North York. But I'm in York. I was living downtown for like 12 years, right next to U of T, because I went to school there. And then yeah, now living in York. Like I got married last year, so we just decided to move. So when did you move to Philly, and how much time did you spend in Toronto?
Yeah, I was like, it was the 6th grade when I moved into Philly, so I was like in Toronto for a couple years,
Right, right,
probably
right.
like 6 or 7. So yeah.
Cool. How long have you been United fan, bro?
So I got an interesting story for this. My entire family, Liverpool fans. Like my dad's side is from the UK,
It's okay. Not
and
everyone's perfect, bro. It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. So my uncle decides to take me to a derby, and before they had like the what do I say, like the tent around the players as they're walking in, it was a little bit more open.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So so I was just kind of like on the side of it with my hand out, and the only player that was tall enough to give me a high five was Peter Schmeichel. So I was like, well, I'm supporting him
Oh,
because he gave me a high five, and
damn.
yeah, since then,
Guys, are you
I've been.
listening to this? We need to do a double take. So you went to, how old were you?
I was like 5 at the time. Like I think I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
like 4 or 5.
So
Yeah,
this man's got a handshake or a
high
high
five.
five
Yeah, yeah.
from Peter Schmeichel when he went to your first football game, I
It was my
assume, like
first
in
football game
general.
ever. Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy, bro. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
My uncle was hoping that I would like, walk out a Liverpool fan. They lost that day too. I think it was like 2-1 was the result or something, or
Yeah, of
2-0. But yeah.
course. You know how
So
bitter Liverpool fans are, dude? I meet people who are not from Liverpool that are so bitter about United Liverpool rivalry, and I'm a United fan, and like I hate Liverpool because a lot of the shit that's happened again, like between us in terms of the bad defeats has happened when I've been an adult, right? Obviously, the lot of the bad shit that happened to Liverpool fans was kind of when they were a while back, right? Because United haven't been good in the last 10 years. But I still don't have the level of hatred towards Liverpool as they do towards us. I don't get it. I don't get it. But maybe maybe you understand with your family a bit more
I do. It's
how it works.
yeah.
So your whole family, how many people are we talking about?
Like 7 or 8, I think. It would have been +1, but like my cousin married an Arsenal fan, so she converted from Liverpool to Arsenal. So yeah, it's just. But yeah, the sole United fan, I think, of my
Yeah. So
family.
there,
So
so you're the ray of sunshine in the family. I get it.
yeah, yeah,
I get
100%.
it. Not everybody can be as lucky as me because both me and Rishi are United fans, right?
Yeah.
So we sing from the same hymn sheet, and we're not perfect, but at least we're United fans.
No, I think
Uh,
I think United fans in general just are perfect. It's
yeah.
just
There we go.
yeah.
There we go. There we go. Schmeichel handshake, dude. People are going crazy. If I wasn't if I was more bitter, I would have kicked you from the stream just because I'm so jealous. But that's an amazing story, dude. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Sherpa's here too. Sherpa's in the studio. I'm gonna bring him on after you. But go on, tell us, man. How do you feel about where we're at as a club? How do you feel about this game? Whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah. So I think I've told people, like my friends that I watch it, that we will surprise a lot of teams this season. I feel like we're surprising ourselves the most, especially with losing the games we should be winning, and winning the games that we thought like we would be losing. So I kind of agree with your take that we'll probably get a result at Palace, even though in recent history hasn't shown that that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
As far as the overall long-term outlook, it seems like they're saying the right things and then doing it about 70 to 80% of the time. At least with some of the decisions
When you
that
say
they've
they,
like
you
made.
mean the leadership?
Ineos. Yeah,
Yeah.
the leadership.
Okay.
I don't know if like it's necessarily all on Amorim because he's kind of trying to make the best of the situation as he's dealt with. And you said something interesting, I think, in one of the streams in the past that maybe he felt like the Everton game was one that we had to lose to like go through as being able to like grow as a team. And his post-match comment saying that I'm afraid of it feeling like it was like last season. I know certain other channels kind of, like memed it a little bit, right? But
Say that again. Sorry, I missed what you said. Say the last part again.
yeah, he said that the feeling that he was getting
Oh,
like
afraid
last
of yeah,
season.
yeah,
Yes, he was afraid of that
feeling of the
returning.
last season. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you know what the problem is, dude, Shylin? It's that when we have a manager like Ollie who's just like, uh whatever Karaki and Sancho-y and and all those guys will just come out and do the thing for us. We're like, oh, why doesn't a manager actually give us real insight?
Yeah.
And then when we have a manager that gives us real insight, we're like, well, wow, like what does he mean by that, right? And like, why is he telling us so much? I think Amorim's the most honest manager, not just to manage United, but like in general. In the world right now, he's the most honest manager that's out there. People like to give Slot credit for it, but he just honestly talks shit all the time, right? He's literally like, oh, the teams are not playing total football, so they must be shit. Like that's what he comes out and says. So with Amorim, I appreciate what he's saying because it's true, right? It is true. We are worried that what happened last year could happen again, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone disagrees. Like we are worried because who was different from last year that we didn't have? Because even Dorgu came in January. So Dorgu played the rest of the season. So the only person that wasn't here last year that was playing against Everton was Mbumo.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you think of, some of the culture changes that Ineos have like made really apparent at the start of the season that they've been trying to push, the majority of the team that was, oh, you got a super chat here.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
the majority of the team isn't like, it's still the old team. So how can they have like more resiliency if they've shown so many times in the past that they're susceptible to losing even 7-0? So
yeah. Tabi, thanks for your super chat, man. I'll get back to your comment because I have it saved here. After we finish this chat with Shailin. What's your name, by the way? You prefer Shailin, or is that your name?
yeah, that's totally fine. Like Shailin doesn't matter. I get
Okay,
get both. Yeah.
Got it. So in terms of being concerned about last season, I think the problem is, look, I gave Xerxes some love and I got some hate for it in the comments, which is totally fine. Listen, I'm not. If you guys agree with me like 90 out of 100 times, like I'm happy with that, right? Because ask yourself this: like, how often do you agree with everything Goldbridge says, or how often do you agree with everything some of the other creators say? So I try to be as reasonable as possible, and if you're reasonable like me, you'll agree with me more often than not, and I'm fine with that. So with Xerxes, my thing was he got some minutes under his belt. Let's not forget, which game was it that he got booed in? Was it Newcastle last
I
year?
think
He got booed.
yeah.
Yeah, he got booed against Newcastle, right? And what did he do after that? He came back, right? And I think he scored against Everton twice. Now he's getting shit after Everton. Maybe he comes back and scores for us against Crystal Palace, right? So that's all I'm saying. Like, if Xerxes steps up in this game, like you said something interesting when you came on first. You said this team likes to surprise us, and you agreed with what my take essentially of we surprise ourselves in the best way and the worst way. I don't want it to be surprise in the sense like Dallo scores a hat trick, right? And we don't know what to do with ourselves. I don't want that level of surprise, but I do want us to come out and Xerxes gets a goal. I think Ahmad is due a goal, right? I know he scored against Forest, but like a goal and a good performance or an assist. I want Mbumo back to be on the score sheet. So if we can get a goal each from like Mbumo, Ahmad, Xerxes, Bruno gets an assist, Casemiro gets an assist, maybe Dorgu gets an assist, I think that would be an ideal game. But the problem is, I don't think this is going to be a goalless game from a clean sheet perspective. I think we're going to concede because they create a lot of chances. And the issue with the mid block is that they're gonna sit in such a compact shape that it's going to be hard for us to break them down. Because if you saw the quality of our crossing from Everton, I don't know if you caught the podcast I did with Semix, but we talked about the crossing in depth. And the problem is our crossing is so shit that all it does is give possession away. It doesn't create any space. And what we need against Crystal Palace is to do crossing so effectively that we actually create that space. We pull their players out of position. This is going to be, is this the first time, guys, in the comments, let me know, is this the first team we're playing that plays a 3-back this season?
I think it might be, but that's why I think it's interesting. You think crossing is the right thing to do. I feel like it'd probably be the opposite just because of, they'll have the same number of defenders in the box that we do. And I feel like we do a good job against Most crosses.
Here's the thing. The problem, the crossing, regardless of shape, I feel like it can be effective. It depends on the quality, right? Because whether it's 3 players you're pulling out of position, or 4 players, or 5 players, whatever, however you want to look at it, whether it's a 3 back, 5 back, or 4 back, you need space. So if it's more compact, crossing has the ability to create space. And in this type of game, I would say Cunha would be super important, just like it was against Everton. But we don't have Cunha, and we don't have any dribblers. So what else can we do? I think crossing can be effective. Now, the other thing is we don't have any tall players other than Xerxes. So your crossing has to be pinpoint, like it was against Tottenham when Mbumo got the goal. And that could be something that works. So I don't think we'll see 34 crosses again, but like 20, 25 crosses, I think can still be very useful. And I can bet my bottom dollar that in training this week, Amorim was like, you guys need to hit your target with the crosses. Because we tried to do it in the last game. If you noticed after halftime, the players came out looking worried. They looked very shaky, right? They were like scared about what's going to happen, about the media sphere and what's going to happen in there. And what did they do in the second half? Started putting crosses in. So Amorim clearly wanted them to play those crosses. And I think in this game, our best bet to win this game is that Crystal Palace play a bit like Brighton do, where they do try to, enforce their will onto us because they're playing at home. So that actually works in our favor. Right? If Palace was playing away, I think they're playing with 40% possession. There's a chance they play with 5-10% more possession, and that could work in our favor. So that's kind of the thing I'm relying on, because like you said, if I'm going into this expecting a win, that means we're going to lose. If I go into this expecting that we're going to get battered, then there's a chance they surprise us and win. And so that's kind of the thought process I have.
I'll pose a question to you here. Do you think that this is almost an audition for Glasner, for Wharton, maybe some of the players that are also trying to make like this next step up, if that they can maybe outwit tactically? Or do you think it's just Ineos is still going to stick by?
You mean, is Ineos looking at this as an audition for Glasner?
Yeah, I think they've been saying that, like, okay, we back him, like he's our guy, and I get the point, right? Like he says 3 years, 4 years at least to showcase that he's a good manager. But if we finish, let's say, outside of Europe, maybe not as low as 15th, but like like an 8th or a 9th, and his contract isn't, do they? I'm sure they're planning some level of succession.
Yeah. So here's my problem with Glasner is that he doesn't have the charisma that we would love from a manager. Like, you would agree that Amorim's a likable guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, everyone likes Amorim. It's just that if we were winning more, it'd be easier to like him.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my only concern with Glasner. In terms of what Ineos would do, I think there's a good chance that if we finish outside the European places, and when I say that, I'm including the Conference League, right? If we finish like 8th, for example, and we don't win the FA Cup and get into the Europa League that way, there's a good chance he does get sacked, because I think they're trying to give him the right environment and everything, but they also don't want to make the mistake they made with Ten Hag and give him a contract just based on faith and belief. But I also think if we finish 8th and we're like 2 points away from 4th, which is what the league could look like this year, right? If you see how packed the league is, we're still like, how many points away are we from top 4? Let me see. Premier League table. So 4th place is Villa on 21 points, and we're on 18, and we're in 10th, right? So 6th place is covered by 3 points.
Yeah.
In fact, Crystal Palace is on 5th, and they're on 20 points. So we're 2 points behind them. So us winning this game, we go above Crystal Palace, right? And that's like legitimately by expected points, the 5th best team in the league. And guess what? By expected points, we are the 6th best team in the league. So this is like truly a 6-pointer for top 4, if you want to think about it that way. Like, in fact, you could say in the next 4 games, this is the most important game for us getting into the top 4. Right? I think if you want to look at it that way. So I think to answer your question, could he be in trouble if he doesn't get Europe? Yes, but I think the circumstances will determine what they actually do, because they do really believe in him. As much as you and I believe in him, and the people that are watching believe in him, I think Ineos really believe in this guy.
Yeah, I think it's smart because like Wilcox, and I think Berardi too to some extent has said that the system that he plays is the one that they see football evolving into, and they want to be at the forefront of that next evolution and not necessarily waiting to catch up to it like a lot of teams did with 4-3-3 and the possession heavy football that we're seeing now. So yeah,
that's why Slot is struggling, right? Slot is trying to play Guardiola ball when Guardiola doesn't play Guardiola ball, right? Because Guardiola has moved on. I don't know if you saw my video from yesterday. I know it's a Liverpool, so your entire family must have watched it, but you didn't. But it was a Liverpool video, but I like to cover that. I know some people were like, why are you talking about Liverpool? It's because I find it interesting when I see stuff in the football sphere, especially the Premier League, and people kind of are not covering that information. I just find it interesting because Liverpool's problems, as much as I would love to see him get sacked and their project go haywire, I don't think it is all down to Slot. There's a lot of problems in that team. And the fact that Salah is not giving them 29 goals and 18 assists, people undervalued his output last year, and now they're overvaluing everything else, right? So it's never Salah that gets the credit that he deserves, and that kind of irks me. But anyways, what are your predictions for these next 4 games
12
in terms of points? 12 points.
12. Yeah, I'm anti Nelson on this. I'm with Shanti or Shant.
Okay, Shant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah.
Oh, you can call him Shanti as well. Like we used to call Rashi and Kariki. You can call him Shanti if you want. Shanti, you approve of that, right?
Is another option as well if you broke it down that way.
Yeah.
Don't know if you'll like that though.
Sheikh Shant all Armenian. Is that what we'll go with?
Yeah, let's do it. But yeah, no, 12. Actually, I really think like we have the potential to beat any team on our day.
Shant approves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
awesome. Yeah. Okay, 12 points, guys. You heard it here first. Shantarian. There we go. That works.
Yes, Shantarian. That's great.
Yeah, Hendrik Shantarian. Let's go with that. All right, cool. Well, Shailin, awesome, man. Thank you so much for calling in. I'll get in Sherpa next, and I appreciate you, bro. I hope you call in again, and would love to see you after we've won a game, not just in this like somber mood, right? Like let's have a chat after we won a game, because honestly, if we get 12 points, like guys, there needs to be something we need to do for Shailin. Because Shant is like permanently delusional. Like this is the first time I've heard it from you, and I believe that you're actually that optimistic. Shant is just, what's it called? He'll predict 12 points after we've lost 2 games in a row as well. Even though it's impossible, right? But anyways, Shailin, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks.
All right. Amazing debut from Shailin there. Let's get Sherpa in. Sherpa, thank you for waiting, my friend.
Pleasure. It was lovely listening to Shailin. It was really cool.
Yeah, bro. I'm so jealous. I know. Maybe he can go shake hands with Senna Lomans now and rub that energy off, right? Just pass it on. I think that would be a good way to get this guy become Schmeichel in disguise. Sean says, "Welcome, Sherpa."
Yeah, thanks, Shanti. Don't worry, I'm with you on the predictions, Shanti. Don't worry, I'm right there.
Yeah, let's go. Shanti, we're gonna call him Shanti. Shant, you gotta change your YouTube handle now, man. It can't be Shant anymore. It's gotta be Shanti or Shantarian. I like Shantarian.
Yeah, Shantarian.
Shailin says BRB planning a trip to Manchester to meet Senna. Yeah, absolutely. He needs someone send Senna this clip of the video first, and then tell him I'm coming. Right. I think that's the way to go about it. But how are we feeling, Donovan? Haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah. I was quite down, and I pushed myself. You couldn't do that. I could watch cricket and rugby to perk myself up.
Yeah. Are you of Indian origin, by the way? Yeah. Okay. How did you feel about South Africa beating India then?
Oh no, I loved it. I watched every moment of the test match, every one of it. I was quite, to be honest with you, I was
Marco
really
Jansen,
surprised.
man, he's bowling really well.
Well,
Also Harmer,
Mutasami,
the spinner.
Jansen, Mutasami, Jansen, and Stubbs really surprised me. I am still shocked that it wasn't just about the spinning. I mean, that Jansen got you out on. But I mean, there's lots of things on Indian cricket that I could talk about. I do think there's a lack of the values. The values are a big problem, not necessarily the technique and all-rounders, but there's an aspect of that we're just better than everybody else, and then you carry that in. So you don't do your homework. You don't respect your opposition.
Indian team.
Yeah, and I think India itself. I think India itself may have that problem. And that's what Test match cricket is. It exposes your character, your personality, and so forth.
Yeah.
And so if you think you're better than everybody else, you don't like it when somebody beneath you makes you feel like you're not inadequate.
Well, to be fair, I think that happens more when we play like Bangladesh or Pakistan, or like, it doesn't really happen with that. We take South Africa seriously. Like at least I do as a fan.
I don't think you. I think the Indian society does, but not Indian cricket. Not Indian
fair
cricket.
Enough. I think the problem is that like this series, and we lost to New Zealand. I think in New Zealand when we lost to them, we felt like they were kind of beneath us type of thing, because we had just smashed Bangladesh 2-0 before that. I think there's too much of the T20 going on still in the players' minds. I think it's the application from a first class perspective, because a lot of these players play white ball cricket and then without playing any first class cricket come into playing this. But guys, we're losing. We already lost 10 viewers.
We got a cricket show. But, I just wanted to say though that that's what scared me about the Everton game is how much we looked like last season. That's what really cheesed me off. And that's why I'm worried about no Cunha. Because you needed leadership on that pitch. And that's what Cunha has been able to do. So much so we really needed that. And I'm not knocking Bruno. I'm not knocking Bruno at all in that. But you needed somebody to say, because back in the day with Garnacho, with Rashford and so forth, it's not that they all weren't trying, but they weren't trying together. Each one wanted to be the hero. And I was seeing parts of that. And teams also, I mean, it was clear, Everton knew our only attack is in Mbeumo and Ahmad. You stop Mbeumo and Ahmad on that side, and we don't really have an attack. And that becomes really, but unless you can work it out on the pitch, you need to work that out. You need to say, okay, they are over, they double tagging or triple tagging Ahmad and Mbeumo. What else can we do? And we didn't do that. And that's the haphazardness. That's the disjointedness where you look like you're bereft of ideas. And that scared me. And that's why I'm really worried that we need other goal scorers. We can't be. I don't want Mbeumo to score. I really do not want Mbeumo to score, because it's becoming an Mbeumo show in that regard. We need other goal scorers. We need those set piece goals. And I know, yes, it's come from De Ligt and so forth and that. But in terms of our attack and who we're trying to get to score, it's just Mbeumo. It's just Mbeumo. Doku's not passing the ball quickly enough so others can get a chance to score. There's those types of things. Dallo did a little bit. He was actually better than I thought than he usually has when he's come on. But it's still, when you down and out, we were really bereft of ideas, and this is going to change. I like that we're playing Crystal Palace. I think we can surprise them and we can beat them. I think we could pull a fast one. I like the idea of 12 points.
Donovan, sounds like you actually agree more with Amorim than I do, because I guess that's why he's playing Ahmad in the 10, right? Because he thinks he's closer to goal and can have more of an impact from that kind of pocket over there. And what he wants the 10s to do is make those diagonal runs a lot, right? So when we saw Cunha play in the 10 or Sesko play in the 9, or either or, you see Cunha making the run from the other side across, and Mbeumo plays the pass to him to run in behind. And when I think Ahmad played against Man City, he did the same thing, where he made that run across and tried to get the ball from Mbeumo on the right.
It's just he's not passing. It's just that he's not passing. The problem with Ahmad, once he starts to do that, he starts to make the chance for himself. There's more than one time that Bruno, Mount, and Mbeumo were available for Ahmad, and he did not. So if he can't do that, then it's no use. Then it's literally no use. So unless he learns to pass, that actually works against us. that actually works against us. And Mount is actually a lot better, but at times Mount doesn't take his chances either. It's like it's too many of those things. Bruno should have buried, the one chance. It was so unusual. But we really need more goal scorers. We really need you to hate Liverpool. That's why we got Rooney, because he knew that we hated Liverpool and he came from Everton. That's all important. But we need more goal scorers. If we do not get more goal scorers, then we are going to be stopped by many teams. Because we are totally predictable right now. We weren't that predictable, so that's why we're talking about can more players take the ball through, from defense and so forth and that, because he's gonna have to do some tactical tweaks on our attack.
But Donovan, can I just pose something here? When we played against Liverpool, right? In the 3-game stretch from Sunderland, Liverpool, and Brighton, the two, let's say, games that looked the toughest for us. Not the biggest achievements that looked the toughest for us were Liverpool and Brighton. We were going into that Brighton game. I said it in my match preview that this is a tougher game than Liverpool because we never win against Brighton. In those 2 games, our threat still came from the right-hand side, and we were still able to capitalize on it. Right? Because
but it came from the right-hand side with the left also being a threat, or a left complementing that threat, not the right-hand side isolated by itself. That's the difference with the Everton game, in my opinion. Everton realized we just need to stop that. So even when he pulled Ahmad back into the wing-back position, brought Mount on, etc., took off Mazraoui, we had
that was the second half. Yeah, that was the second.
Yeah,
so here's what I think the problem was in the Everton game. It's the first half was so draining on us in terms of mentally, right? Because the players were just like, what do I do? Like, how do I break this team down? And guys, if this hasn't been said enough, if you are 11 professional players, you don't need a coach to beat 10 players, right? You should be able to do that like a training exercise. So if you want to sit here and blame Amorim, you need to find the space. Even Gary Neville, the guy who failed with Valencia and the guy who we know doesn't know that much about tactics, doesn't know that much about football. He himself said against 10 men in his post-game podcast, he was like, you should know how to play against 10 men. You move the ball quicker. You move from side to side quicker. You try to find the space. You force them to think a lot more, because one less outfield player, that's 10-15% more work for each of the other players that are there, right? So you should know how to do that. In Everton, the first half, in my opinion, the fact that we were so bad, it almost left a lingering effect on the second half as well. So regardless of us moving shape and moving to the right position, I think had we started that game with Ahmad and Mbeumo on the right, we would have looked a lot better. So I hear your point, but I also think we should still have the right side be dominant, because here's the other thing that does. I think Palace have Donovan Mitchell as the left wing back, or not Donovan Mitchell, Dimitri Mitchell, or what is his name? Donovan Mitchell's the football player.
He's an American.
He's a basketball player. Hold on. Now this is gonna kill me if I don't find this. Tyreek Mitchell. Okay, Tyreek.
Wow,
Mitchell.
so far.
Yeah, I know. I totally got that wrong, guys. Please don't unsubscribe. Okay, I'm allowed to make a mistake. Okay, Tyreek Mitchell is and Mark Gahey, right? So they have like two of their best defensive players playing on the left-hand side. So if we have Mbeumo and Ahmad on the right, that means those guys are not they're not given the same freedom to attack from that side. And they also have Yeremy Pino, who's one of their good creators, on the left-hand side, right? So if we keep our threat from the right, that actually opens up the left more.
Exactly.
Right?
And I'm not in disagreement. Not in disagreement. I wanted Mount and I wanted Ahmad in the wing-back position. But what we need to do is, when they are neutralizing, you shift it to the other side so that you can create space for your strength in the end. Because then they will say, hey man, nothing's happening here. Let's stop the left, because otherwise you're going to run into trouble. And I agree, you put it in a different way. We looked more tired, although we were 10 men. Because that emotional exhaustion or lack of ideas or whatever it is, I think that's a really good point. Because where the lingering stuff comes from last year is that our players just need confidence, not plastic confidence, not after 2 games, beating Liverpool or whatever it is. We need real confidence so that you don't mind failing, right? That you just, take the chance. Dogu doesn't look up. He just passes it, right? And so forth. And that's the next step. That's the most difficult thing to get. That's what Amorim, I think, is really trying to get. If our players play with confidence, that's why Cunha looks so good as leadership in the last part, because he takes no nonsense. He reminds everybody that we are in charge here. This is Manchester United. We are in charge here, and that's what he's been able to do. Yeah, and we missed that.
I agree with that part, because Cunha, even if he loses the ball 10 times, he'll still come the 11th and 12th time to come pick the ball up.
Yeah,
right. So
and he never says sorry.
Yeah. And I think, do you guys think in the chat as well? Let me know. Is it time for us to try some of the long ball stuff against Palace? Do you think he'll do a bit more of that? Because I know Palace is mostly a mid-block team, but they do have a good high press as well when they want to, right? Like they can deploy both the high press, mid-block, and low block. It's just most of the time they do the mid-block.
And your point on Xerxes, because I love Xerxes as a player. I like him like Berbatov. I think he's this luxury, unique player that you just have as a luxury. He never really fits, but he also fits. But I was so disappointed with him against Everton. I really was angry with him, And the other day when you were having that discussion with Nelson, I do think I don't know the statistical terms as well, but I don't really like XG because I talk about actual chances. I don't think we create real chances in real terms, So Xerxes' chances were more like XG chances. Those headers should have been better, etc. Blah blah blah, and that. But he needs to show us that class. He needs to fight. So I'm hoping what you're reminding us last year against Newcastle, it was, I think, it was Newcastle, or was it Everton? I think it was Newcastle. He got booed off after 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was Newcastle.
And he came back. Yeah, and he came back. I hope he comes back because he's such a beautiful player. He's a Berbatov, unique, weird player that does things that we want him to do those things. So he can be that person in the middle or the left or the nod down that Sesko gives you and the pressure that he gives. But he's not a leader in that term. He may be a bit of a leader in the change room and he seems to come across like that. But on the pitch, he doesn't come across as that. Ahmad could be a leader, but he's a leader to himself very often in that way. We lack that. We lack that because my view is that by the time we verse City and Arsenal in January, I want us to be top 4. I want us to use, for the first time, this December-January period where there's a lot of points on offer and a lot of people wishing they were going away in warmer climates for, Christmas and New Year and whatever else. And that's the time. You're not homesick. You just say, I'm going to celebrate Valentine's Day in February and whatever. Yeah. And I'm going to really, really enjoy this period. And you get as many points as possible. And you could be top 4. Although, I said that I will be happy with top 6 and whatever else. But I can smell it because we need real confidence.
We need some consistency. But you know what the problem is? The second the fixture congestion has arrived, these guys have to go away for AFCON, right? And Mbeumo and Ahmad. And as much as we're frustrated with the fact that Mbeumo's scoring all the goals and Ahmad is creating a lot of chances from that side, our biggest threat is going to be gone. So what does that do to the rest of the team? Right. Yeah. So that's the big problem. So
that's why I don't want us to buy Semenyo, by the way.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to AFCON though.
No, I know he's not going, but that doesn't mean next year he isn't.
Well, it's going to be so the AFCON that's going to be in 2 years after this one is going to be in the summer. Right. It's going to be in the summer. Yeah. So we won't miss it. But the one in 4 years from now will be in the winter again because they'll have the Club World Cup again. So
now that changes it. That changes it quite a lot.
So if you want to think 4 years down the line, you're thinking, you're doing more long-term planning than Ineos is.
No, not even long-term. But you can't stop a player now who's even 28 to talk about 4 years.
Fair enough. Let me get the panel in, Donovan, and I'll keep you on here. Nelson and Rishi.
There's the best person in the world. It's Rishi, hey? Andy, don't get jealous. Don't worry, man.
It's okay, bro. I'm happier than ever. I was just joking around. I'm happier than ever that Rishi's getting the love because this is the guy that got me onto this club. So if you want to show him 99% of the love from this channel and the other 1% to Nelson, I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally
Given
fine.
our
With
current
Actually,
record
really
over
love
the past 10
Nelson, by the
years,
way.
Andy, you're welcome for me ruining your life, by the way.
Yeah,
But
well,
you gave
honestly,
it some
no,
good
dude,
years,
you gave
didn't
me because of you. I have this community, okay? So I'm not gonna take that. So I appreciate this community. Robert, President Robert is in the show. He has joined us. Let's listen for him, and then we have Mero joining us as well. Mero, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm in. How's everyone?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good,
good.
good, dude. How are you?
Rishi,
Are
how
all
you
the
doing,
chairs
man?
occupied? Are all the chairs
I'm
occupied
good,
in your
bro. I'm
house,
good.
bro?
Say it again.
Are all the chairs occupied in your house?
Nah, it's just
Because he's walking
just
around.
walking around. That's just thinking.
Gotta get your steps in. I appreciate it.
Yes,
How you doing, man? Robert, how are you?
I'm great.
Yeah. Is your mom sleeping already? What's going on?
And actually, she's not around even.
She's what?
She's not around.
Oh, she's not around. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta get your camera set up for next week, but I'm looking forward to that fan debate. Okay, go on. So Sherpa, me and Sherpa were just, I mean, I'm sure you guys were listening, but we were just talking about the concerns for the Palace game, and I know Nelson disagreed with some stuff. He didn't text me or anything. I just know he did. What's up? What's up, Nelson? What are
No,
you saying?
actually, I agree with a few things that Sherpa said. I also don't like XG. I don't like the count for XG because it does account for half chances. It's why I like using big chances. I know it's more subjective. From different stat websites, they count that differently. But like when I looked at the Everton game, I didn't think we created any good chance, not one. And that's the reason why I didn't like that Everton game. But I will have positives. I rarely am the guy who brings up positives, but I watched the Strasbourg game. To be fair, Wharton didn't start. He came in the second half, I think. And the way they played should be how we try and play. They played long balls, but the problem
Strasbourg
is
did.
Yeah, but Omega
They had
has
60% possession though.
They tried to bypass constantly every single one of their chances.
Yeah.
They would try and hold up the ball, but Omega is so quick and so tall that every time the ball would be played long,
he's 6'5", isn't he?
Yeah, he's 6'5" and rapid.
Yeah.
Did Chelsea buy him? I think Chelsea have.
I mean, he plays for Strasbourg, so whether he goes to Chelsea or not, they already
He's
own
going.
him.
Yeah. Chelsea buys everybody as well.
No, but the Strasbourg is their club. It's their feeder club. That's where Andre Santos played last year, right?
Yeah. So he's probably good. He looks like a good player, but I think the long ball route is probably our only option in this game because. To be fair, we kind of vacate the midfield against teams.
That's not true. That's not true, though, Nelson. Because I saw the Strasbourg game too. I saw highlights of it, and actually the ball in behind, they are a very compact mid block. So a pacey winger, the ball in behind, that's a very good sort of a weapon against Palace. So it's not just the long ball. I think there's another way. Of course, your aerial, you could knock the header out, and then your winger could make a run. So. But we don't really have wingers, right? We have Dalo and Dorgu.
Also, Xerxes not as good as Sesko with knocking the ball on,
knocking
right?
the ball,
in the air. He's not as good.
And Omega was like physical with them. So whenever the ball was being played, you could see there were points they were putting two man on him because he's just so big, so strong. Xerxes doesn't play like that. I think Sesko would have been good this game because he can stretch the game. And we don't have wingers. We don't have rapid players like Strasbourg has.
I also like the midfielder Valentin Barco, the Argentinian guy.
Yeah.
He looks.
He's tiny though, right? I don't know how well he'll do here. In the
he's
Premier
physical
League,
though.
He's like 5'6" or 5'7".
He's physical. He is, but he's physical. Like he's not just like a tiki taka type. He reminds me a bit of like Verratti in a way. But yeah, go for it.
Another player I don't think would have played well in the league, but I do like Verratti.
Verratti, bro, he was like Scholes in a way. He would like 2-foot people into tackles. Like people were scared of him. He had very good close ball control. But I think Verratti's a bad example. But I hear you.
But I actually think if we follow a Strasbourg approach, we have a chance. Do we have the players?
But we can't follow the Strasbourg approach, Nelson, because we don't have the main man. We need to follow that approach. We don't have Maguire. Mateta's gonna feast on our centre backs. We needed Maguire more than we needed Cunha for this game because Mateta was an absolute bull against Strasbourg.
Yeah.
So we really needed Maguire. So I don't know. That's the reason I was afraid the other day when people asked for the predictions.
But Rishi, the problem we have is even if we play Maguire, because of Mateta's pace, I think Mateta, we just hope he misses.
No, it's not Mateta, bro. It's Sarr. Sarr is the one we have to worry about.
Either one. I'm afraid of all. Hey guys.
No, but Mateta is not traditionally as rapid, right? He's more of like a well-rounded player who's a little bit fast, a little bit physical. All those things.
I think our team doesn't have fast players, but I guess Euro's kind of quick. But Mateta's clever enough that he'll just move.
Sarr's gonna play on Luke Shaw's side, so that's the other worry.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of 50-50. You don't know which Shaw's gonna turn up, right? He's like the Pakistani cricket team. Any version could turn up. So you don't know who's gonna turn up.
Didn't Kenya get into the semi-final of 2000
like a while ago
World Cup?
When I was a kid. Yeah.
That was a good team. That was a good team.
World Cup. They got into the World Cup when it was hosted in South Africa.
Yeah,
they got into the semi-finals and South Africa lost on Duckworth Lewis because we didn't count it properly. We matched the target. We matched the score instead of getting one more run.
I believe it.
That would be 2003, right? That was 2003.
I think so.
Yeah. And the worst part is they had one ball left. Actually Mark Boucher defended the ball. He thought he had got to the target already, so he just defended the ball. He could have scored a run and they would have qualified.
You see how happy I've made Rishi? He's even forgotten about us having whitewashing them.
But I just saw the view count go down 5 people.
Someone joins in, thinks it's a cricket show.
Yeah. No, now the worst thing has happened because next stream onwards, people are going to be like, "Bro, why don't you start doing some cricket streams?" That's what. Yeah, it's going to be footy with no edge. Yeah, footy with no edge, right? But yeah, anyway.
Footy with an edge. Yeah, you edge it in cricket.
Footy with the outside edge. Footy with an outside edge.
Yeah. It's straight to the slip cordon, bro. That's where it's gonna go. Virat Kohli settings, Anyways. Nelson's trying to pretend he's enjoying this.
Nelson, can I ask you this? And maybe we should. That I agree that we should play long ball, but we can't only play long ball because, as you point out, I mean, firstly, we're playing away from home, so the chances of Palace having more possession than us is that. And then, as you point out about Mateta, etc., that and we don't have Maguire, so and our midfield is a little bit vacant and so forth, and we don't have the fast wingers or wing backs together with our two outside forwards. So what would be the tactics and how? So if you're going to play long ball, are you just playing long ball so to make certain you don't concede, which will become you'll run into trouble because you would hardly have the ball. How do you suck Palace in so that if you give a long ball, you have the space where the pace doesn't matter that much? In that regard, that would be my serious question, because otherwise we're only saying that we're going to get just completely lucky to get a goal.
Nelson's about to disagree with your question.
No.
If you ask a question, he's like, I disagree with completely.
No, that's a great question. Here's a problem. We don't play possession-based football because we lack the players to play possession-based football. So if we try and attempt to hold the ball up and have more and more players move into the mid-block where we're trying to pass through their midfield and their defense, the immediate effect is going to be multiple counterattacks. My biggest fear, we've been talking about the strikers, we've ignored the wingbacks. Their wingbacks are rapid and so good at getting behind. So the more
Munoz is one of the most dangerous players in their team.
So if we try and play, I don't think we should play possession. This is the first time I'm going to say I think we should play ping ball, where this is going to be a hope and pray strategy. Because in terms of possession, they have better midfielders than we do. They're more mobile than us. They have more agility than us. The strike is more physical than ours. None of our centre-back partnerships looks well against their strikers. So for me, it's just a question of...
So we must kick them. We do what Alex Ferguson did to Arsenal.
Yeah, we
bring Cantona back.
Physical, you make it a rough house.
Back.
Yeah, just be aggressive as possible is the only way.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Donovan, if I can answer your question for Nelson, it's not that long ball is a strength. It's that possession is a weakness.
Yeah.
So by playing long ball, we get rid of the weakness and then hope that the other team gets drawn into doing something they're not used to. That's the idea. And here's the other thing.
That's prime Jose ball.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. The Palace played their strongest team in the Conference League, right? So
they played a second team. They initially played in the Conference League. They didn't play. Wharton came in the second half. They actually played a weaker first.
They have Pino, Mateta, Sarr, Munoz, Hughes, Mitchell, Gehi, Lacroix starting. So the only two players that didn't play are maybe the right center back and Wharton.
Yeah. Oh, which are one of the better players. That's what I'm saying.
Come on, bro. Gehi, Munoz, Sarr, Mateta, Pino, those guys are all their strong players.
I think Wharton, I genuinely think the reason why they bench, they look down on Strasbourg. I think they assumed they're going to walk through them. And the moment Strasbourg scored the goals.
Yeah, but Wharton came on in the
but I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true because Strasbourg are in the top 4 or 5 of the Liga this season. I don't think Glasner is someone who will underestimate an opponent. In fact, if anything, he's someone who's methodical, and that's the reason he's grafted all his way to the top, right?
Oh, okay. Nelson didn't like that.
Oh, he wildly disagrees with us now.
No, but he played. So Palace played 9 out of 11 of their starters, right? However you want to put it.
Yeah.
Nelson's back.
Yeah. Sorry, I clicked the thing wrong. I'm back. Sorry, I didn't catch what you guys said.
Yeah. So basically, even if you think he didn't play all his 11 starters, he still played 9 of them, right?
Yeah,
and then Wharton came on in the 30th minute, so he played 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing on Sunday morning. So Sunday 12 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be a situation of there's a chance those players are leggy, but we said that about Everton, right? Like we were supposed to be fresh against Everton.
But aren't we making a mistake? Sorry, Andy, aren't we making a mistake? Like, I'm not saying we must blow smoke up our asses or whatever and talk about players better than they are, but we are not as bad as we are making it out to be. That you know what? I mean, there's these roles.
It was a bad day in the office. That's not how bad the players are.
That Crystal Palace is just so good that Xerxes may not be Sesko, but he is a good player. He can head it down. He can use the press. Mount is a very intelligent player. I don't know what the starting lineup will be, right? Ahmad is good. So now you can find fault with every one of those players.
Every single one of those players.
No, let me finish it off, Nelson. Let me land it. You can find fault with every one of those players. But if I watch Crystal Palace long enough, I'm sure I could find fault with every one of Crystal Palace's players,
100%.
from Wharton to Mateta. But the way we are talking up Crystal Palace, we're killing our players like that. We literally are, because they have to go in. It's not just tactics.
Yeah, Robert.
The players got to believe.
Let Robert speak.
Let
the man speak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go, Robert.
Actually, I mean Donovan on this one, because I think people are actually giving Crystal Palace a lot of credit, more than they really need. Not that I'm saying they are a poor team or a bad team, but it's not really called for the amount of praise or the amount of heat our team is receiving because of facing Crystal Palace. I think you will see some faults with that Crystal Palace team because they play really narrow. So that means it's the Forest game all over again. So for me, I'd prefer Mazraoui to actually start as right centre back instead of Yoro, because he seems to be better driving with the ball forward. He seems to want to do that. It comes to him naturally than to Yoro. But even though Yoro did it last season at left centre back, I think Mazraoui could actually do better. But now for the 10s, it's difficult because Even if you decide to pick Mount won't play a full 90. He won't. So you need to find a way to pick somebody else, so somebody will be in front of him. So it's kind of difficult, and this is why I'm happy I'm not even a football coach.
Bro, you're not. You're barely an adult, so you got some time. Sherpa, I don't know if you watched the last stream, but Robert is 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
In Vietnam, the average age was 19. This is a song you guys wouldn't know. So it doesn't matter.
No, but last time he told us he finished high school in 2023, all the panelists almost fell out of their chairs because nobody wanted to believe it.
So he can't give up on his coaching dream yet. He mustn't give up on his
can.
coaching
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could become a coach, Robert. But
No,
I'll tell you what, guys.
I'm even taking computer science. I cannot.
Hey, there we go.
Same thing as coaching.
Nice. Yeah, you're coaching a computer. Maybe you could run some simulations for Amorim, dude, about how Dallo always loses the ball and he should never play, regardless of him being.
I don't want this point to go because I heard Chapa bring up something that I think is scandalous. I think we need to move away from stating things that have been. I find this in UK media law where they go, "This is a fact. Manchester United are better than Crystal Palace." They don't specify why. They just say historically. I like looking at it right now. In every single position, I'd actually give you our centre backs are better than them, except Gay. I think the other two, I could give you De Ligt and maybe Yoro or whatever. But if you look at the better wing backs, Pino, Mateta, and Sa are outperforming our attackers, except one guy, Mbuma. Mbuma's the only one who has 6 goals. Mateta 6 goals. Sa has 3 goals. At some point, I think we have to just assess that if we're looking at us realistically, as a team, we're not as good as Crystal Palace.
But that's football on paper, Nelson. So that means Chelsea's academy team, that's Chelsea's academy team, beat them 2-1. Because if they follow your thinking, right? They follow your thinking, because you're the one who says, I don't like XG, right? But you're doing precisely that. You're taking 1 + 1 and you're coming up with 3. That it's a given. This is sport. I'm not going to blow smoke up our asses. I'm not going to say our players
hold that.
But
hold that.
Not as bad as you're making it out to be. Otherwise, Strasbourg wouldn't have been able to beat Crystal Palace. And what has been proven is only 2 of their players weren't there, and they lost 2-1.
Quantitatively, let's speak quantitatively because that's what you want to say. Have Crystal Palace finished above us last season and ahead of us this season?
So what?
Yeah, bro, but
Liverpool finished above us. No, Liverpool finished above us last season. Liverpool finished above. That's 1 + 1 coming up with 3. You can't do it. You can't do it like a computer that you put something in and it comes out. You can't do that. That's how tactics work. You can outsmart, you can outmaneuver with tactics. You can work against a team to mess them up.
There's a reason why we're 10th.
Thank you.
We're underperforming. There's a reason why we're struggling.
Yes, I don't disagree with that. But this is a once-off game.
Your argument doesn't hold water because you're changing what you want to hear. We're either overperforming.
Nelson, but he's following your lead. He's following your lead. He's making the same argument that you're making.
But I'm saying, I'm looking at Crystal Palace, and I'm just stating the truth, Donovan. That hurts.
It's not truth. It's not truth. It's what's happening now. It's not truth. It's not a truth forever. Okay. That's the difference. It's not a truth.
I'll tell you. Hold on, guys. Let me step in as a responsible moderator, not just somebody that's enjoying the show.
Remember, I'm older than you.
I'll say this. No, I'll just say this. That before we played Liverpool, right? Liverpool were the better team, or they look like on paper. Yeah. But we went there, we beat them. Before we played Brighton looked like the better team, but we went to that game, we beat them. Before we played Sunderland were above us in the table. They look like the better team. We went there, we beat them, right?
But I don't
before we played Forest. Hold on, Nelson. Let me land. Before we played against Forest, we looked like the better team. We went there, we drew the game, and I would go as far as to say, based on how that game eventually played out, we were lucky to get the draw, right? Because Ahmad scored a screamer. After they scored those 2 goals, we were lost in that game Against Tottenham, probably more fair of a draw, and against Everton, we deserve to lose, right? Again, another team. So we've seen both things play out. Just because Crystal Palace looks better than us now, it doesn't mean we're going to go there and lose. And just because the next team after that looks worse than us doesn't mean we're going to go there and win. In fact, this has been the whole point of the last like 10 weeks of making videos. This has been my central point, that United surprise us in the worst way possible. So the fact that you think, Nelson, that we're going to go there and lose, and that's the general consensus around the place, actually has a stronger signal to say that we're going to go beat them, because that's what our team has been doing in all this time. And I know it seems like, where is the goals going to come from? Because now more than ever, at least against Liverpool, we had Cunha, we had Mbumo, Sesko could come off the bench. We don't have any of those weapons, so it seems harder than ever. But that being said, I think there's a good chance. And also the sliver of a point that I'll agree with Donovan, because I'm not saying I disagree with both of you guys massively, is the fact that, look, Palace have looked better than us this season, but they're also massively underperforming their XG. So this could be the game that Mateta gets 3 chances and doesn't score them, right? You say you don't agree with XG, bro, and if you don't want to agree with it, that's totally fine.
We have lost 4 times to these guys back to back.
And we had lost 7 out of 8 against Brighton.
Yeah,
we had lost 7 out of 8 against Brighton.
There's a lot of...
And we hadn't won in 10 years at Anfield.
Yeah, guys. I know you guys want to jump me because I'm the only one stating something that you don't like. 1 second. Let me state my point.
Okay.
And then I'll listen to you. I'm listening to all of you at the same time.
Yeah.
Every single team that we've beaten this season, there have been caveats. And I'm willing to take the certain games I thought we were going to lose that we won. Brighton, for instance. I was thoroughly impressed with the Brighton performance. Sunderland, I thought we were going to win. I'm not overly impressed by Sunderland. The rest of the other games, Liverpool are in one of the worst forms we've ever seen since Klopp came in. So to me, I'm happy that they're bad, that they're terrible. But when you look at every other fixture, I like the way you ignored the ones that we knew we were going to lose and we lost. We knew we were going to lose to Brentford. We lost. We have a history of losing there, but it's how the team plays. The issue is that with Palace, Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, how they play sucks. We always struggle. Yes, Robert.
Okay, so when you say Crystal Palace is better than us, by at which point do you mean Crystal Palace is better than us? Do they have better players than Manchester United, or do they have a better coach who has better tactics than Manchester United's coach? Which one is which?
I think they have a better team, a better structure. That we play.
No. Listen, I've listened to the question.
I've answered your question. The problem is you
haven't answered. I've asked you a question. Do they have a better coach than Ruben Amorim, or do they have better players than us?
At this point, yes. At this point in time, they have
better coach and better players.
And better players.
Better coach and better players. So let's look at it at surface level even. The reason we lost to Brentford was because our players can't do the basics, first of all, right? And they have shown that they can do the basics when their backs are pressed against the wall, right?
Yeah.
They can do the basics when they feel like it. They can do the basics. So it still shows us that our team is actually good, but we still lack that consistency. And Palace has consistency. That is what Palace has. For us, we don't have consistency. And I think there's a chance, actually. Not that I'm saying we are going to win, but I hope we win. I'm actually optimistic that we're going to take the dub against Crystal Palace, because I think it's possible. And Amorim has showed us that he can have an upper hand against these guys who are being touted as better coaches than him. Because that's what I think. So your argument seems to be, for me personally, and I'm not with you on this. I just think let's say maybe you're afraid of Palace a bit.
I'm not afraid of Palace. They have beat us. We haven't scored against them. Robert, I know you haven't watched. You've watched.
But did you watch our game last year? We performed.
Don't disrespect his football. Okay, this man has been watching since he was 8 years old. Okay.
So for 4 years.
Last season we were actually unlucky. The reason we did not win at Selhurst Park last season was because we were unlucky. We were the better team last season.
Facts, bro. Facts. I remember that game minute to minute.
We were the better team.
We should have won 3-0. We should have won that game 3-0 in the first half.
Last time at Sellers Park.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why you're saying that they didn't beat us. We haven't beaten them in the last 5 years or whatever, how long we haven't beaten them. It's just, it's no longer even a plausible argument if you're going to state that you have never beaten them. Because also in the Arsenal game, the last time Arsenal actually defeated Bayern Munich was like 10 years ago. They humiliated Bayern Munich 3-1 at the Emirates. And I was also, to the build-up of the game, was like, Arsenal is going to be losing to Bayern. So you get me.
And this is the point I'm making. Sorry, Nelson, this is the point I'm trying to make as well. That you are speaking in too many absolutes, that this is a given. And that's what's incorrect. Because
in fact, he's speaking exactly like the UK media who he started out criticizing.
Yes.
That they speak in absolutes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It can't be a given. Because if it's a given, that like you were saying, the Glasner is a better coach than Amorim, then how did he lose to the Strasbourg coach, Rosenier, or whatever his name is? What's this guy's name? Yeah,
Lee Rosenier,
Lee Rosenier was fired by Hull and whatever else, or whichever team.
Dude,
And also you look at that Strasbourg goal at that.
How do you get these facts?
Keep on
No,
going.
how do you get these facts? Because yes, we've lost 4 times, but it is not, you don't just look at the bottom line of it. Oh, the result was that without the context and so forth. So it is not a given. I've seen some of the comments. Zertzi's not good enough for the EPL. This one's not. That's how the media, that's how they speak. They speak in these absolutes that do not make sense. That this is still a process that we have to go through. That now, and maybe it's all these good things, not having Cunha, not having Ahmad and Bromo in January. Which players come up? That players can surprise you. They go through that. A lot of all these players, all of them in the professional leagues are already talented. There's no ways they're not talented. They're already they're at a highly developed stage already. So it's a matter of one, the tactics and so forth, and understanding it, being able, and then the other is the actual commitment and ability, so the personality and character, ability to face adversity and so forth. And that's what you want. That's what will build the team. But if you go in to say, be scared of them, this Crystal Palace is so good, that's not more respect. I'm not asking us to disrespect the history.
I'll just Sherpa, let me just add here, because I think as much as I enjoy watching Nelson getting
here's 1 second, Andy, because this is something that's killing me. Donovan and Robert believe in this fantastical world that United are good, even though we're 10th. I'm sorry, Sherpa. Here's the truth, Donovan. Okay, I'll say your name. Sorry, Donovan. The truth is,
either it's fine, bro. Don't worry.
The truth is, we're 10th, and every team that we're supposed to have beaten, teams that we stated that we were comfortable beating, we've struggled against. Tottenham this season are not good. Everyone agrees. That game, we were so lucky at the end not to lose that game. It was so frustrating to watch that game. We watched the Chelsea game. If it wasn't for the fact that Maresca, the idiot, benched all of his wingers, the moment he brought pace back into the game, we started looking scared again. We look like we're going to lose the Chelsea game. As Robert says, you're talking about match tactics. The truth is, whenever teams physically play well against us, we struggle. Whether you call that mentality, you want to call it whatever you want, I agree.
Yeah, but that I agree with. Right? So we suffered last year against Spurs because physically they were stronger than us. Exactly. And they're not that strong.
Yeah. And here's the problem. You had said something earlier, Donovan, that I disagreed with, but I was waiting to get there. You had said that whenever it comes, we started well this season, and then we've kind of come against a rough patch. I disagree. I don't think we started well. I think what happened is we changed how we played from last season. Teams looked at us and were trying to figure us out. Once they figured us out, Amorim changed the system again and started going long, and guys have figured that out now. So they all know.
But that's every team, Nelson. Like that's every team, man. That's every team. That's every team.
In one game. We also played long in one game.
Yes,
it's not that. Also, Nelson, to add on your point of teams figuring us out. In that Everton game, we had chances where we were on the counter, but our players can't pass a freaking ball. There were times where we were on the counter, and like, make a pass, that guy is through on goal, and all of a sudden they mess up the pass. And you're like, is it really Amorim or is it really these players? Because you might say that because I've heard some people say there are no patterns of play when you watch United, but I'm like, how can you have a pattern of play if your players can't even pass the ball? Because if you're to have a pattern of play, the ball needs to be moving from point A to point B. And every single time a player gets the ball, he already has his mind fixed on where he's going to pass the ball, either back or just going to try and make the pass, even if it's not even available. So it's not technically the tactics, because these guys could not even pass the ball forward. A pass which even I can make, and I'm not a professional footballer. I'd be like, you know what, I just know somebody's running there, so I just make the pass there. And these guys could not make a freaking pass with the ball. So you're saying it's tactics? It's not tactics. It's just that these players perform.
Execution is a problem.
Yeah, they have a lot of.
Robert, let me hold on, Nelson. One second, Nelson. I got you, bro. Don't worry. As much as you think I'm against you, hold on. I got you, because I think there's something being missed from Nelson's point, which I saw somebody in the comment make. I think Nelson's point, and correct me if I know you will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the point Nelson's making is that from a squad profile perspective, we're a bad match to Crystal Palace, right? I think from a system perspective as well, they're not a team that comes in high presses a lot, right? They do more of a mid press. And we haven't really seen much of like a mid-block type of team. And we haven't succeeded against them. So I think, and Nelson, weren't you the one who said we need to go long because Strasbourg did that? Yeah. Right? So you do see that there is a chance where Amorim could play his tactics like he did against Liverpool, and that could be successful in this game. Is that accurate?
There's always a chance. There's always a chance to win the game.
So there's a chance that we could be successful. I think the other side of the coin, Nelson, which is what Robert and Sherpa are saying, that we don't need to sit here and pretend like Crystal Palace are prime Barcelona, or like Crystal Palace are some team that is so much better than us that we've got no chance, right? I think that's where the kind of intersection of both points is. I agree with you, Nelson, that from a profile perspective, we're a mismatch, and nobody would be surprised if we lose this game, right? That's the proof of the pudding, that nobody would be surprised if we lose this game, or nobody would be surprised if we have a poor showing. Now, the things that I think go in our favor, had we beaten Everton and it was like Everton didn't turn up at all and it was an easy win for us, I'd be more worried about this game.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, going into this game, we have suffered the worst defeat of the season. That one was worse than Grimsby for me. So if they don't show up in this game, then honestly, maybe Amorim just needs to go, because that means the players are not believing in him. After putting out that shower of shit that we did against Everton, if you can't turn up against Crystal Palace, because we have the quality, it's more about the consistency. It's about the execution of the system. Like Robert was saying, they're not playing the passes well. They're not moving the ball quick enough, whether it's Dorgu, Dallo, Mazraoui, whoever it is, right? There's a lot of people that are screwing up their jobs. So I think there's a nice balance between what Nelson is saying in terms of this is a game we should be worried about. I agree with that, but also not so worried that we're shitting ourselves going into the game, because this isn't, again, I was more than the Liverpool game, I was shitting myself against Brighton, because I thought, listen, we've just got such a big victory against Liverpool. If we go and play poorly against Brighton, but what did we do in that game? Nelson said it himself. You were very impressed with how United played. So, you know, Nelson isn't completely wrong, and he's saying it with his chest for a reason, that we do need to be worried about this game. But I also agree with what Donovan and Robert are coming from, which is that, listen, we do have the players to turn it up. And guys, for everyone here, I'm telling you, if Xerxes has a good game, you can thank me later, because I've been seeing it coming from a mile away. He doesn't have any minutes under him. You watch, he has professional pride. Everything I hear about him, people love him in the training ground. People love him at the club. He trains well, right? He seems to be doing everything that the coach wants him to do as well. And there's every chance that he comes good in this game.
Andy, to add on that point of Zagzi, the last time we visited Selhurst Park, Zagzi started the game as our striker, and he was so good that the moment Ten Hag decided to substitute him off, the team kind of fell off. That was how good Zagzi was in that game against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park last season.
Robert is the only one who remembers Selhurst Park. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah.
Andy, I have a
Dude,
question.
this guy, I gotta see a camera on, or I gotta see a birth certificate sent to me via email, because the ball knowledge this guy has, like even though Nelson doesn't disagree with your take, I think he'll agree that the fact that you pulled out Selhurst Park from last season, that was nuts. And Rishi's usually the one. He remembers like minutes of games and all that. And that was crazy.
I remember, dude. I also remember that in the 2 years that Ten Hag was here, that first half in Selhurst Park looked like the first Ten Hag ball half that we had ever played, and we couldn't manage to get the ball in the net. So many people had like in front of goal, they had a bad game. I know Garnacho had a stinker. So yeah, I mean, that's a crazy pull, Robert. Yeah.
I just want to say, I hope Mero comes in because I just read the chat that he wasn't following. The summary that you gave, Andy, on the both sides, in a sense, is totally correct. Because, and not that I disagree with Nelson, but I don't want us to think that this is just a given, that we're just going to lose. And I also think that they have to figure it out. They really have to figure it out, because Crystal Palace still loses games. It's as simple as that. They still lose games, and we haven't yet seen. In my opinion, we haven't seen how really good our players can be, because there's a lot of lack of confidence and so forth. There's unsure, that's why you take a little longer and so forth. If they can trust each other, I think we can play a lot better ball. We're not going to be great. We're not going to win the league or whatever it is, but we are and I will say this, I think we are improving. We are much more pleasing,
Guys,
other than this Everton game, pleasing on the eye than before.
Can I just say something? Speaking of last year's game at Selhurst Park, we had 67% possession, created 1.7 XG, 5 big chances to Palace's 3. And guess who the man of the match was? The one guy that we're all forgetting right now. It's Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson could have a blinder in this game. Yeah. Every keeper comes up against us and wants to play like prime De Gea at Arsenal. If you guys remember that game when De Gea was like,
it's all these people that we let go. They always come back with a vengeance. Like they got a point to prove.
Do you know why I didn't bring that up? The Crystal Palace game, the first one, and why Robert was so enigmatic about it. We played a 4-2-3-1. We played a different system. We played through the middle. We played a completely different style of play than what we currently do. So whenever you make these arguments, and that's what Donovan was bringing.
No, but that's not really true, Nelson, because I remember that game very well. We brought in Mazraoui. I remember Mazraoui was playing left back. Was it Andy? Can you just check? Mazraoui was playing left back that game. He was playing right back.
Malo was playing left back.
Mazraoui was involved a lot. We were trying to move them a lot through the wings. So it wasn't like we were really playing centrally. Yeah, I remember that game very well. Mazraoui was very involved in that game. And I thought he was having a fantastic game.
And also, unfortunately, you can play with 3. You can play with the 3, because I think this is what I'm trying to say, Nelson, and this is where we agree, right? Okay. On paper, on the side, you can look like with the 3 defenders, but it not really is. You can be 4 with 1 wing back going and so forth. Correct. And those things happen in the game. So that's the tactic. How do you double team, Mateta? What space do you give to Issa where and so forth? Those are the types of tactics that I'm talking about, and all of that is possible. All of that with drills and patterns are possible in the week. So I would expect us to learn from the Everton game, but you do need, which you didn't have, you do need the running. You do need the commitment of lost causes. You really need that.
Sherpa, let's bring Mero. You've been waiting patiently in the wings.
Yeah, he hasn't said a single thing.
You're actually right in the middle, so you could be like the I'm saying this in the nicest way. You can be the puppy that goes to the right person, right? So you tell us. Who do you think you agree with? Do you think Sherpa or Robert made better points, or do you agree more with Nelson?
The thing is, we brought up something about playing long ball. We don't have the personnel to play long ball. Who do we have to play long ball with? Xerxes average in duels. Ahmad's technical. But
against Liverpool, when we played long ball, we played to lose the first ball and win the second duel. Right?
Yeah, but that's because
we don't need to win the first header.
Because Liverpool's bad at winning the second ball.
I think they were surprised by the shape, because we had 5 players in the midfield because Cunha was dropping off. So think about it this way: if we play long balls from Lomans and we allow Guehi, Lacroix, Richards, whoever to win the first ball, and then we have all our front 3 and the striker in the midfield to win the second ball. If we play it like that, and Palace might be more prepared because they just faced that against Strasbourg. But point being, we don't need to win the headers. We need to just win the second balls. So when the first guy heads it down, we need to win the second ball. So if we did that, so who do you think is more accurate here in terms of, should we be like afraid of Crystal Palace more in terms of this is like let's say one of the most difficult games of the season, or is this something that is closer than that?
I just don't know how we're gonna like attack. Like I don't see like the way we're gonna win. Like I don't know how. Like I don't know. Like how I just don't see it. I don't
so guys, Nelson's gonna be back again on the next video. He's got some love finally.
Nelson,
I would love it if we win 3-0.
We don't have we don't have like
finally one person
because we have Cunha, right?
Hey, I took your side, bro. Come on, I took your side. Nelson.
Listen, when we play Cunha, Mount, and Buemo, Cunha, like he's able to play those short passes. His first touch is so good. Him, Bruno, when they play together, they're able to drag the defense out and like play balls in behind and really stretch the defense. We don't have that. Like we don't have that personnel, right? Like Xerxes, like he hasn't even played for a while. Like I don't really trust his first touch as well. Like I don't know. I don't see like a way where we can like really like they play a really good.
But Miro, even if you can't stretch the defense,
the problem is Xerxes. It's not long ball. It's not long ball. It's not the second balls, right? The problem is that you've probably never been convinced by Xerxes. And Xerxes is not a normal player. He's not an orthodox, traditional type player.
He's a unit.
I think if we didn't have Tevez and Ronaldo and that, you would have been irritated by Berbatov. You would have been very irritated by Berbatov. But nevertheless, I hope Xerxes does surprise us because he is a very, very different type of player.
Miro, I'll tell you what. Let me give you a simple point, right? Every player looks bad until they do something to make them look good. I mean, every player that you look at, right? Because every player, like before Mbumo did something in the shirt, let's not pretend like in the summer when we signed Mbumo, we knew that we're gonna get this. Nobody knew, right? People hoped, and we looked at his stats at Brentford. That's a very different system, very different team. Expectations are different. Plenty of players have come from better teams and look like crap in our team, right? Like Mount doesn't look like the Chelsea Mount. Mount used to be bossing things at Chelsea. He doesn't look as good as that. There's other players who have come to our team and not looked as good. We thought Casemiro was going to be like a revelation. And in his first season at parts he was, but we also played a very defensive system, right? Many people thought we're getting like this champagne Real Madrid Casemiro, but his legs were gone. Even with De Ligt, right? We were getting him from Bayern and Juventus. People thought he was going to hit the ground running. So there's lots of players that you kind of have to have the faith, right? Let me give you another analogy on top of the one I just gave you, which is essentially if you take some of the fans online, every single one of them would be horrible motivators and horrible coaches, because you would just be looking at the last game and how they've played in the last 10 months or 12 months and been like, you are never going to be good enough, and we'd have to sell every player after every game, right? So when you look at someone like Dalot, that's the issue I have when people are ready to give up on Dalot, Dorgu, all of these guys that have consistently not looked good. That every other player that you look at Robertson, he got relegated with Hull, right? You look at Maguire, he got relegated with Hull. Like technically, those guys should never be making it at the top of the Premier League. Robertson became
with Sheffield, Maguire got relegated twice.
Yeah, sure. But my point is that you're looking at if you look at these players based on what they have done so far and not the projection of how good they can be, then you're always going to undervalue them. So with Xerxes, you said something where his first touch isn't good enough. I actually disagree. The best game Xerxes played for us, his first touch has been amazing. Look at last year. There's a clip going around on social media where he totally does like Saliba against Arsenal. When we played against Saliba.
That was the FA Cup. That was the FA Cup.
Yeah, that was the FA Cup. And yeah, so he's good. He just hasn't looked good, and we can't go off
because I understand he hasn't played in a while. I understand that. Yeah. Like he hasn't played in a while. So yeah, I should like give him a little bit of chance to play. Like, like get his ground running. I understand that. But I don't know.
So say Nelson, you can say you agree with Nelson.
No. It's not that, but it's just like Xerxes hasn't played. Like I don't see how we're gonna like really like give this back line trouble. Like, I don't really know how we're gonna do it. Like, I don't really see it.
Like that's my issue too, Miro. You've actually explained it in a very simpler way than I have, which is I really struggle to see with the collection of players we have right now being actually troubling Crystal Palace to the point where we win the game. We can score a goal. I'm not shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if we score one, but we don't have the defensive ability to hold a 1-0 lead. That's another issue. So
as a passing shot, Nelson, as a passing shot, let me say this, because I don't necessarily disagree. I think Crystal Palace is a better team than us.
Okay.
But I don't like us being defeatist. And maybe it is. I am stuck in some fantasy Hollywood world. Somebody said, there's a difference between a coach and a fan. I'm a fan. I'm not a coach.
Same.
It's okay. I don't mind being a fan at all. That I remember the movie on Pele that came out a few years ago, where the Swedish coach says, yeah, look at them. They are weird. They're deformed. Garrincha has one foot shorter than the other. And, this one is this bad and that is that bad. And all of them look around and they become so self-aware that they actually not good enough. They don't deserve to be on the same pitch in that way. And that's what made that Brazil team so good, particularly is because they started to believe in themselves more. And if you do what you are doing now, if you start to say that you are this bad, then you rather not pitch up. And that's I can't buy into that, because as bad as my players may be, I'm going to talk them up because I want them to do well. I really want them to do well. And that's not talking about facts, because the facts are Crystal Palace is better, but you haven't yet lived up to your potential. Maybe the Crystal Palace players have hit their plateau, right? If our players have not, right? And so we still haven't seen them. And then the next part is tactics, how do you do the one-on-ones and so forth and which patterns? But the way I disagree is that the parting shot is that you talking us out of winning. You or believing that we could win, we could pull this off. You're going there to say, hey, hold on, let's hope we don't lose 5-0. Let's try and make it just maybe 1-0 or 2-0 and maybe score a goal. I mean, how could that be good? So for you to be correct, Manchester United have to be really, really bad. Then you can feel good and come in the next stream and be smiling. Is that what you really want?
So let me.
No, I don't think Nelson's coming from that angle.
No, he's referencing me. I need to defend myself.
Okay.
I don't want other people defending. Let me clarify something, Donovan. We're United fans. If United win, I'm happy. I would prefer if we win. Okay, but I'm not delusional. And the delusion.
Neither am I. Neither am I. And you said I was delusional.
Let him respond. Let him respond.
Yeah. Let me point. Yeah. The delusion is assuming we are better than a team that hasn't. The only person they've lost is Eze, and they've actually looked fairly better after Eze's left, which is a shocking thing. They're supposedly one of the best players leaves, and they get better. My concern is whether or not, if we had Cunha, completely different conversation. I would say we have a shout. We've lost Cunha, we've lost Maguire, so our best head of the ball and our best progressive dribbler or progressive carrier, however you want to see Cunha. In my opinion, against this game, will really showcase Amorim's tactical chops. He wins this game, completely different conversation we're having. Now you hear me going, well, maybe we might top 4 now. You start hearing conversations changing because he has to adjust. My point of view of Amorim is every time I look at him and I go, oh, we might lose this game, and we lose, I'm like, okay. He hasn't every single time we assume something's going to happen, it seems to happen with this coach. And my biggest concern.
Did you expect us to beat Liverpool?
For me.
No.
Can I argue from my point of view and not yours? I'm not any of you. In my point of view, I knew we were going to lose against Man City. We lost. And you were going to lose to Arsenal. We lost. And you were going to lose to Brentford. We lost. We even spoke about this, Andy. We said in this 5-period game, I see us with
Nelson. I'm so sorry. I'm not interrupting you. I just wanted to explain a little bit more what you mean. So I'm not interrupting you at all. I just wanted to explain. When you said you knew we were going to lose to Arsenal, how did you think we were going to lose?
I knew they were going to do the same way. They'd score a goal and we wouldn't be able to score against them. Arsenal are not like this Buccaneer team that scores 7 goals. They score 1 goal. Their defense is tight. So I knew we were going to lose the moment they score 1 goal. We still haven't bucked
I
one
think
turn.
your argument is a little weaker talking about Arsenal because
Yeah,
it's
Arsenal,
arguably the
we
best
expect
game.
to win that game.
It's arguably our best game, and Dorgu hit the post, right? And
So,
we were
so
talking
that's where I'm
about-
coming. That's exactly where I'm
One
coming
second.
from. I just want guys. Let's let Nelson.
Arsenal did not have big chances. We didn't create many big chances against Arsenal. We did a lot of half chances. That's one of my issues with this team, by the way. And that's why I hope good players, if they come in, we see more chance creation. We create a lot of good half chances, never one good solid big chance. We get maybe 1 or 2 a game. And we keep hoping that in those 2 chances, we score both to win these games. It's one of the reasons why I look at this team and I go, with better players, sure, we might get better, but I don't think we're there yet. And I don't think anyone here is claiming, unless I'm not speaking out loud, is anyone here claiming this team is good enough for top 4 or a Champions League run, top 5?
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement then. Because these are ones of
except Nelson, and I want to go on this delusion because none of us, even Robert is not saying that we are not saying that we are better than Crystal Palace. There is no delusion like that. Okay. None of us have said that, and that's what Andy tried to balance out. But at the same time, we are saying Crystal Palace is not as good as you are making them out to be, because otherwise they should not have lost a single game.
They've drawn 5 games, Nelson. They've drawn 5 games this year.
Yeah, and neither, because we could become a set piece team for this, just for this game. We could play the long ball to get set pieces, to get corners and free kicks and whatever else. We could become a complete set piece. Well, not unless Dallow's there. He's the only one who can throw the ball a little bit, but throwing the ball a little bit, but not even
we
that
did score.
far.
We did score from set pieces a lot against Forest. We scored. I think both our goals came from set pieces. Against Tottenham, the winning goal came from a set piece.
So there are those tactics, but you close that off when you go with saying Mateta is so much better than this. This one's so much better than that. That one. So that's where you would trigger me to say, but no, hold on, man. I'm not talking about Iniesta, Xavi, and Messi and Ronaldinho here. And to me, it has to come from that, and this is because it comes from. I don't agree with Amorim and his tactics. I don't agree with how he's playing certain players, and it comes from there. It doesn't come from nowhere, and that's the problem, because then we argue in circles. I have to put aside. I can't stand certain players in that team, but I put aside that on the basis of the one-off, because otherwise you get stuck into that, and you want players to do better. So I'm not talking like I'm talking to the players, but we got to do that.
Donovan, I'll say this, Nelson. I think you left out a couple of games there in the point that you were making, which is I'm pretty sure you expected us to lose against Liverpool at Anfield. Unless you
actually expected us to draw. I didn't, because they had a bad game before.
But did we do better than you expected?
Yes, 100%.
Did we do better? Okay. What about the Brighton game? You expected us to lose?
Expected us to lose. We won.
And he showed you something that you haven't seen from him before?
Correct.
We were 3-0 up in that game. And you're talking about big chances, right? Against Brighton, we created 4 big chances.
100%.
We scored
100%.
4 goals. Hold on. We scored 4 goals. We created 4 big chances. We missed 3 of our big chances.
Correct.
So we could have scored 7 goals.
Yeah.
Right? In that game. So
it's a one game I like. You're not going to... I'm actually...
but I'm saying for every example of games where you said you expected us to lose and he's shown us exactly what we could do, there's also other games that we should have lost and we didn't. And I'll tell you why the Sunderland game, for me, should be getting more love than it is getting. We kept a clean sheet, and that team has gone on to bigger teams, better teams than us, and done better against them. Right? After they've played against us, and also before they played against us. And Sunderland is much like Tottenham in the sense that they're very bad in their underlying stats, but they're still finding a way to win games. Right?
Can I posit an analogy here? Because everyone's used an analogy, and I feel like I haven't used one yet.
Sure.
So I'm a fighting guy. I watch UFC, I watch boxing and stuff.
Okay.
So styles make fights.
Yep.
And in this case, our style compared to Crystal Palace is a poor matchup for us. Is my
No. I disagree with you.
Rope a dope. If you're a boxing man, rope a dope. Ali should have lost to Foreman. Rope a dope.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I disagree with Nelson with you because, first of all,
yes,
in the Everton game, they were points in the game where we could have gone in behind if only a better pass was made, right? Also in the Forest game, there were points in the game where you could you would sit down and you'd be like, if that player controls that football a little bit better, it's a shot on goal, and maybe even if it's not a goal, it may be parried or it's a set piece. Then also, it's not that Amorim's tactics are not good, and I'm not technically defending Amorim here. What I'm saying is, Amorim's system for Amorim's system to be played out really well, it's really reliant on the players that we have in our team. We need our players to come out.
Nelson agrees with that, by the way. Nelson's made that same point.
Yeah, I've made that
because
point.
If you look last season when we faced Palace, it's not like Palace have done anything with their tactics this season. They have come up, and Glasner has come up with any groundbreaking tactic because they are simply still playing the same kind of football they played last season. Mid block, they push you out wide. That's their plan. They want you to go out wide. Then all of a sudden they are back five, or is it a back three? I don't know. Shift into a back four. Each and every single play is getting into your players. Then all of a sudden they have boxed you in the same way Arsenal was doing with Bayern. So it's really reliant on
we do most of our attacking from the wide too. So we also want to go out wide.
Yeah.
So we already want to go out wide. First of all, we already want to go out wide. But the question is, will our players deliver that final ball properly? And even if the final ball is delivered, will somebody come up with a good touch? And when that touch is taken properly, will that person score? Will that player score? So that's the thing, because even the last time we lost to Palace at Old Trafford, we should have at least maybe 1-0 up by the 25th minute, because I remember there was this chance.
Guys, Robert, I have an interesting. So we're almost at 2 hours now. I want to close with this segment because I know Nelson's got to go back to work.
Yeah, I do.
Nelson, you tell me. I have one question each for Nelson and then Donovan/Robert. Nelson, you tell me how we can go win this game, and Donovan and Robert, you tell me how we will lose this game. Okay, because I want to hear from you guys make the opposite point. Nelson, you tell me how we can go win this game. How can Amorim go win this game, and what the score is going to be? Who's going to score?
I think we would have to play similar to the Liverpool game, just because I don't see any other way. I think Mount has to play this game. We don't really have any other person.
I agree. That's someone who we haven't talked about. For me, Mount is key for this game. If Mount and Mbeumo, those two guys have good games, I'd say, and Ahmad plays at the right wing back. I want to specify that. Those three things happen, I think we can win this game.
I think that's our best possible. Like, we have to abuse those half spaces. We've been really pushing the wing as much as possible. I think this game we really have to maintain half spaces, and that's the only way.
So you're talking about between their wing back and the outside
and the outside center back, because those are the two. Avoid Gehi as much as possible, and focus on Lacroix and those the weak of the two center backs.
Yeah. Okay. That's how we win. And what's the score in case we win?
I don't see a way they'll score. I think they score 2-1.
2-1.
I think we could see 2 goals. Yeah.
Okay. I want Robert to go first. Robert, if we lose this game, how are we losing this game?
So the question is, how, if you were to lose this game, how do I think?
No, not that we want to lose it. I'm saying
no.
Trust me, the players and apparently the whole world thinks Amorim has got that piece covered, right? That because he wants to lose the game, right? But you tell me, because Nelson just argued, we spent 2 hours arguing why he thinks we're going to lose this game, right? And then he gave us a reason for how he thinks we can go win it. Now, since you were on the other side of that, now you tell us how we can, give us the way that we lose this game. Like, what has to happen for us to lose against Palace?
The only way we lose the game against Palace is if these players go ahead and drop in a back five. It's the only way we lose, because we have lots of our players ball watching, and we've seen how bad that turns out to be when we have somebody like Luke Shaw ball watching, Dallo ball watching. So if these guys go and decide not to show up, that's the only way we can lose. We won't lose because of tactics. I don't think we are losing because of tactics. We lose because of the players deciding not to shoot.
So execution, player execution.
Yeah, play
and what would be the score?
If we lose probably even 3-0, maybe even 5-0. This plays even you never know.
Okay, so the players can do anything. Donovan?
Yeah, I mean, I won't go into formations and that, but I think if we come out with this attitude of not trying to be the first at every ball, that intensity, we got to have the intensity. If we don't have the intensity, able to stand up to the Palace players, trying hard as anything, trying to win the game on our own as individual players, as opposed to playing with each other and trusting each other, then we're going to lose. We'll lose. It was similar, Everton was like that. Everton was as haphazard as that, right? And you just trying your own thing. I think if we have a repeat of Everton, we will lose. How many? You most probably, on either sides of the beginning of the game, and then just after half time or something, concede those 2 goals or 3 goals. That kind of story, and we may get lucky and get one, but maybe through a penalty or something like that. But
I'll
it
tell
really
you what.
Depends on the personality of the players.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Rishi already told us he was that he thinks we're going to lose. So I'll ask Miro. Miro, what's your score prediction?
No one's gone for a draw though. Sorry, Miro. Just to quickly, no one's gone for a draw. I think draw is a good bet.
Yeah,
I don't see it. I think Palace will win. To be honest, 3-0.
What'd you say? Your voice cut out. 3-0. Okay.
They're gonna win like 2-0, 3-0, and they're gonna play the same way they played last time. We lacked the second balls so poor that last game. Like United allowed Palace to dominate second balls and like set pieces as well. Last game when we played them, like we failed to handle like set piece pressure, and like we just lack focus. Our defense lacks a lot of focus, and our attack is kind of blunt. Without Cunha, it's very blunt. So like, I don't know. I don't really see us. I don't even really see us scoring, to be honest. 2-0, 3-0. We're gonna lose.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Miro is actually more negative than Nelson.
Yeah,
because Nelson even didn't predict 2-0, 3-0. But I'll say this, guys. I'll say this to bring the temperature down as we're ending off the call. I am worried.
I love
the thing. Here's why I'm worried. Right. I am worried that in life, as it is with United, things can always get worse. Right. And I am worried that the players, if they don't turn up in this game, or even if they turn up, to Nelson's point, even if we do turn up, Palace is good enough. Any Premier League team, 2 teams that can turn up, play their best and still lose, right? So I have a concern for this game that if we don't see a good performance, that means the players are not backing Amorim. That's my problem. I think we're getting a bigger message out there that if we don't turn up in this game, that means the Amorim project is as good as over. And that's
my concern. Can I present the counterpoint to that?
So hold on, Rishi. Let me finish my point, and I'll hand it over to you. So that's my concern. So in my opinion, there's a chance we lose this game 2 or 3-0. And I hesitate to even imagine what the backlash is going to be, because these guys, like the Amorim out brigade was already out after the Everton game, right? Everyone was there, like coming in and saying that we should be out. So my point, I think we can win this game 3-2, but would I be surprised if we lost 2 or 3-0? No, I won't be surprised.
Andy, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
How come you're already giving up on Amorim because of the players? You can't say that. You can't be like these other guys.
I'm not giving up on Amorim. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I'm not giving up on Amorim. I'm saying I'm worried that the players might be giving up on Amorim.
Yeah, but that we already knew that. Like, come on, like.
Yeah. So that's the point. I'm not giving up on Amorim. I think
if those players give up on Amorim, then they must get out, because they have done this too many times.
I'll also say this. I'll go a step further, Miro, in case you're worried. I'll go a step further. The reason why, because I asked Nelson to give me a reason why he thinks we could win, and I asked Robert to also give me, the opposing view of what he believes. I'll give you an opposing view to what I believe, right? The scenario in which Amorim gets sacked is that there's not enough time for him to get his players in through the door.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? It's not that he's not a good coach.
Yeah.
Right? It's the fact that the club isn't able to get the players in quick enough, and the results don't hold till he's able to do that.
Yeah.
And that is what we're at risk of doing, which is essentially, we could get him sacked because it wasn't his fault. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. And this is something that the Amorim Out Brigade will never understand, because they just want to sit there and call people crap. Rants and Bants, the creator, I know Nelson knows who he is, because
leave him alone, man.
Yeah, that guy was Amorim out at his first press conference. At his first press conference, he was like, "This guy isn't good enough." So, like, there's people who are crazy out there who will say whatever they want to because they think they know ball. But
that dude looks like he's in his fifth marriage, like he's carrying around 4 ex-wives. That's the vibe I get from him.
No, but I actually have some belief in this ownership, because I watched that interview with Gary Neville. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he's actually willing to give time to Amorim. Like, even though he's seeing all this happening, like, he understands that, like, how can you just
it takes time,
how can you just make a manager do something like without the players he needs for his system? You can't do that. It's like not having the right ingredients for the right recipe. Like, you can't do that. How can you do that? So I believe like Sir Jim Ratcliffe will give him time. Like, he'll give him time.
No, but Miro, the problem is, like, sometimes even if both parties want to make it work, we're going back on the marriage analogy. Sometimes both parties want to make it work and it still doesn't work, right? Unfortunately, that's how it works in life sometimes. And so that's what I'm worried about. That I want it to work, you want it to work, all of us want it to work. The players even may want it to work, but if they're just not good enough to follow out his system, we finish in 10th this year or 11th or 12th, then I don't see how it's going to continue. That's the problem. Because we could say, okay, give him the right players and he doesn't finish 10th, but then that's 2 seasons of evidence of him not being able to really progress, and that's the concern. But what is it? Rishi, you wanted to say something. I'm sorry, we got sort of tangential from there.
No, it's
Rishi was going to change his prediction to Palace losing against.
No, I'm not going to change my prediction.
5-0
I
Dallo
actually
hat-trick.
haven't made a. No, guys. Here's what. See, the Premier League is the most unpredictable league in this world, and United are the most unpredictable team in the most unpredictable league. Right? We are 5th from top in terms of XG created, and we are 7th from bottom in terms of XG conceded. Right? We are 3rd. If you make a table of the first half of the Premier League of all games, we are 3rd in that table.
Yeah.
And if you make the table for the second half, we are like 3rd from the bottom. So we are the most unpredictable team. We turn up against Liverpool away, and we don't turn up against Everton at home. So there is no prediction of this team. The one positive change or incremental change I can see compared to last season is we've had 3 stinkers this season, right? 3 stinkers where players made individual errors and they did not show the desire to play for the badge. City, Brentford, and Everton.
Yeah.
After the Everton game, where we thought that Amorim was actually going to get fired, right? Sir Jim came out. He backed the manager publicly.
Sorry, you mean Brentford? You mean Brentford?
Yeah, Brentford. Sorry, what did I say?
You said Everton, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant Brentford. Yeah, when he came out and backed, he also backed after Everton. He came out and said that Amorim is gonna he supports him or he still backs him. So after the Brentford game, that was a kick up the backside that the players needed. They turned up for 5 games after that, right? In my opinion, we had every other game was like an Everton game last season, which it's not. We every 4th game is like an Everton game now. So we are improving like 2x, getting 2x better, right? So that's the argument I would present to what Andy said, that if the players decide they want to get this manager sacked, I think the players have pride. I think the last Everton performance must have stung them personally, right? And I also think that what happened after the Brentford game, which is the Sunderland game, I think that is how we will set up, and that is how we will score our goals. I think no one is considering the fact that Ahmad and Mbomo might interchange, put in a cross into the box, and Zirkzee might score. Like Mount had scored against Sunderland, right? And the way we got even Sesko's goal was a cutback, right? It was a low cross into the box from the right-hand side.
It was also from a set piece, wasn't it? The Sesko goal.
Yes, it was from a set piece. I think it was from a corner.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right, guys? I think this team, the only hope I have is that this team can surprise us. And if we're expecting to lose, then they're surprising us by winning. And I do think winning against Crystal Palace will be a bigger achievement than even beating Brighton or even beating Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because those 2 teams, they us. They want to play in the high press. They want to have their center backs at the halfway line. This team does not. Right? So this would be us. In fact, us winning this game bodes well for the people predicting 12 points.
Yeah.
Because if we can win this one, that will put us on a roll to other games that's going to be low block again.
I'll even give Donovan more credence here. If we win against if we win against Crystal Palace, I think it would beat one of the things that he hasn't done, which is beat low block, mid block team.
Mid block, low block.
That would change my whole view.
And they take Rishi and Andy's point and go and just lose the next game. Very bad. Right? So it's all part of the process. This is what I'm saying. It's all part of the process. We have to go through this process. And I'm not going to use age, but I remembered, before we won that Champions, not the Champions, sorry, the Cup Winners' Cup. Before we won the Cup Winners' Cup, we really didn't believe in this team. Even with Sir Alex was going to be fired all the time. It wasn't the FA Cup; it was the Cup Winners' Cup that made us think that we could actually win the league. They'll talk about Mark Robin's goal and that in the FA Cup, and it's you need a trigger. You need a real trigger to actually believe, because it's not like these players are not good enough. They may not be good enough, but it's not like they're not good enough. And then the last thing, there's an Arabic saying that even if you predict the future and you are correct, you don't know the future. You don't know the future. So on the paper it says Crystal Palace must win, but it can't be a guarantee. It can never be a guarantee.
Yeah, guys, for those of you guys that are watching, that's not just a face filter that Sherpa's using. It's actually gray hair. He's been supporting he's been supporting United for a long time. When did you start, Sherpa? We'll end on this note, but when did you start supporting United?
It was in the 80s. It was a FA Cup semi-final against, I watched before that, but FA Cup semi-final, and Brian Robson took the ball from the halfway line and just ignored everybody and went and scored. It was against Liverpool, the team you don't know how to hit. That just changed me. Brian Robson, and then later now I watched the documentary and it said he could drink till 4 o'clock in the morning and still go and play a game. It was and he was the one who was he was the heart and beat.
He was the leader. Yeah, he was the leader.
Yeah, it was.
Dude, you know what's crazy, guys? Sherpa's just called back to something I said an hour and 45 minutes ago. Okay, that's how much he hates Liverpool. Just because I brought up the fact that I don't know how to hate them. That's the real. Yeah,
you missed the part where Sherpa called a Pele reference. Everyone uses Pele as a reference. That's insane. I don't think anyone here wants anything from the 50s.
No, you guys also don't think
that's how he's coming at you, Sherpa. That's how he's coming at you. He's like, you're a fossil.
You must go and check out Socrates. If you like the way you speak about football, check out Socrates.
Yeah,
amazing.
All the FIFA players, they know Socrates now.
Robert
Damn, dude went into BC. He pulled out a reference from the BC.
Socrates went into politics.
We used to have ESPN Classic back in the day in Kenya.
Yeah,
and we used to watch some of the really, really old games. So yeah, Socrates was cold. Yeah.
That 1970s
Socrates, Garincha, Zico. Let's not forget Zico, right?
Yeah.
Pele,
Dudu and Dede.
Yeah, Dudu and Dede.
And I want to throw in something. Today we say wing backs, but back in the day, that Dennis Irwin was basically a wing back, but we didn't use the term. And then later, Ferguson used Valencia. We bought wingers and made them defensive.
Also, quick fact.
Yeah, that's also partly because Valencia was a crap winger, dude.
Oh no! I wouldn't hear that argument.
He was a very bad winger. Valencia was a very bad winger. He couldn't put in a cross to save his life. You guys forgot that guy. He was a very good fullback, but he was a very crap winger.
No, I wouldn't hear any slander against Valencia.
No, but as a winger.
Yes, as a winger, because the problem is Valencia replaced one of our best wingers that we've ever seen. That's the issue. But he had 20 assists one season.
Yeah, that's how you got the number 7 shirt.
What are you on about?
Crazy.
What are you on about? 20 assists in a season? No way.
Go check. Valencia had a lot of assists.
I don't know about how many, but that's how you got the number 7 shirt, Rishi.
Yeah,
you got the number 7 shirt.
He was the master of the whip pass.
He went down.
Past season.
Okay, we gotta check this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way he would have 20 assists in one season.
But Robert will know. Let's just ask Robert.
Yeah, Robert would know. Robert
Actually,
the seasons.
I don't know about Valencia.
Oh, no,
Guys, he has
13
has
assists. It was 13 assists.
Not just in the league.
in the Premier League 11-12. 11-12, yeah.
11-12.
Yeah, 11-12. He has 13
good.
assists.
He wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
He just wasn't
Yeah,
as
but-
good as Ronaldo. Like that was the issue. Yeah.
Yeah, he had one good
Oh,
season,
how-
guys. Come on. After that, he's had 5 assists, 3
No,
assists,
they had
3
him as
assists.
a number
To
7
be
shirt,
fair
isn't
to Nelson, it's 13 assists and 4 goals in 27 games in the Premier League.
Yeah, it was
and that's in 2,000 minutes. So 17 goal contributions in 2,000 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But then, you know,
And then
after
afterwards
that, he
was
couldn't
just-
replicate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually, I'd say he was Adama on steroids. He was Adama who had final product.
Who?
What,
Sorry?
sorry, say that again.
He was for me, I think he was an Adama Traore.
Oh, Adama Traore.
Oh,
yeah.
Adama
yeah.
Traore. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Anyways,
you know how to pick
cool,
up the
guys.
pass.
2 hours, 15 minutes. This is the longest I've done. We got to call it here. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are legends,
you.
man. We still have 60 people
Yeah.
watching. I love this community, bro. Look at the ball knowledge I'm getting. We're getting Socrates. Next time someone's gonna say Aristotle, right? So we gotta keep it going. I love the ball knowledge. I love the discussion. If you guys, I don't know, would you guys want to tune in for a Saturday stream as well? Because I've usually been doing Monday to Friday. Would you guys be interested to watch tomorrow? Because more people are available. They're on holiday, right? If you guys are down, let me know. Nelson will not be at work anymore.
For sure.
So he'll be, he's going to
so
stay an
late.
extra hour.
Have to go.
Okay.
By the way, I got to give
guys.
props to Nelson. We mentioned boxing in the stream, and Nelson can take a punch and he can take and still be standing. So props to Nelson.
Yeah, he's
Props
got
to
the
Nelson.
Mike Tyson jaw. I love it.
And he leads his defense with his face, to be fair to him, you know. Like he leads his defense with his face, he blocks a punch with his face. So he asks for it sometimes, but he's still standing. I gotta give props for that, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool, guys. See you guys later. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay?
All right.
I'll be there.
Have a good one,
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Bye.
See you guys.